I haven't done a tier list in a little while. The landscape of the game has changed drastically since then, as I've just said. Third variations have been added for every character in the game, and we've had quite a large amount of tournaments since then as well. I can't even remember who linked this to me, but last time we got linked this the Shoryuken ranked website, which shows you wins for each characters and character usage. So obviously take this with a pinch of salt, because this is only as valid as it's been updated, but it gives us a rough idea of, sort of who plays these characters, why, how often you tend to see them in tournaments, especially at the higher end and top 8s and such. I mean, a lot of these characters at the top, as we said last time, are there by virtue of a single person being good with that character. But saying that, even then, you start to see them more being played, especially certain characters with the third variation. So let's get started. No, don't worry. I mean, dude, we're going to get to Raiden. We're going to get to Raiden, so don't worry. You can release your full rage whenever we get to him. As you can see on the right here as well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the criteria. So this is an offline tier list. This is not for online, because as we've established over the course of several tier lists, the online and offline tier list would be two very different looking tier lists. And these were sort of the criteria we came to as a collective when you're looking at a character and putting them, wherever on the tier list. Obviously, these aren't gospel. These are just what we came up with as a collective last time. If anybody's... Well, we can do it next. We'll do him next. I usually just go with who people ask for in chat, so... I haven't done one in ages, man. But I thought it'd be interesting to do one post ECT Kano. Okay, so we'll do Devora, Raiden, Kano. Those will be the first three. But yeah, let's start the show. Hold on, I smell burnt toast. Uh-oh. It should be fine. Yeah, so Devora. I'm just going to put it there for now, just for the sake of having her on the screen. Devora's an interesting character. It smells like burnt crumpets. Devora's an interesting character. When the game first came out, obviously she was at the bottom, considered to be bottom 1, if not definitely bottom 3. However, throughout the course of the game, she has received a variety of new buffs that have made her a much more viable character in the competitive scene. We've only really seen one Devora at high level, and that's Sonic Fox. But she seems to have a lot of tools, and she seems to be a much more well-rounded character now than she ever has been. No, so see, when we get to tournament results, we'll talk about that. That'll be when we get to the tournament results section. Hold on, I can smell burning. It's not in my house, is it? That's really weird. Anyway. Hey, easy teabagging scorpion. Tastes like burning. Yeah, sorry about that. Just, trying to figure out where that smell is coming from. So, let's take the first section, variations. So, her 3 variations are Buzzed, Arachnophobia, and then she received that new one that has the overhead. A lot of the buffs that she had were in relation to the Arachnophobia variation. Hey, easy Josh, how you doing, my man? I don't know, I feel like when the buffs first came out, a lot of players were doing their best to try and make the Arachnophobia variation work. Like, Foxy was playing a lot of Devora. and a lot of other people were using the arachnophobia variation. But I think as time has gone on, people are still just using Buzzed. I mean, as we've said, the main Devourer that we've seen competing at high level is Sonic, and he's never used a different variation other than Buzzed. So, I mean, you can make the argument, I guess, well, the first two. I've never actually seen anybody use the third variation of Devourer, so I can't say at the moment whether or not it can be used competitively, but it seems more gimmicky. Buzzed is the one where she puts all the bugs down and they start flying out at you all over the screen. I mean, Teabag and Scorpion just said, Devourer is great, but it takes a lot of effort. Oh wait, I've got a chat on the screen now. Yeah, so Devourer is great, but see now, I don't feel like she takes that much effort in the sense of before where you had to work really hard with her. I think now she's received these buffs, she's become more of the effort isn't to try and extract some sort of gameplay from her. The effort now is to put it into the setups and stuff. So now she's become, I would maybe even say, the premier like trap setup character in the game, because you put down all the bugs, you shoot out all the other bugs, and then the whole screen's covered in bugs, and then you have to guess, like, if you jump, you get hit by the bugs, and you can get a full conversion. If you, as we saw on the weekend at ECT, if he puts the bugs behind you and you teleport behind him, they'll track you. So I think now it's more in the sense of constructive effort, so that you get what you put in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, we just said easier area, and how you doing, my man? Yeah, so like I said, arachnophobia is the variation that received buffs. Again, I don't know how viable that is competitively. Again, I've not seen anybody using arachnophobia outside of Combat League, and even then, they don't tend to use Widow's Kiss in a sensible way, shall we say. Usually with Widow's Kiss, they just tend to either throw it out from full screen or do it on block, so it's not really, it doesn't seem as viable as Buzz. But let's just say, for now, her only real viable tournament variation is Buzzed, because I haven't seen anybody really do any effort, any damage with the other two. Movement options, she doesn't, obviously, when I'm talking about movement options, I mean, does she have a teleport? Does she have, a really fast wave dash? Does she have, something that means that she moves outside, like general movement options mean, do they move outside the parameters of normal movement, right? Yeah, actually, unbreakable damage is, that's a good one. Majogi, that here. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for that. But yeah, movement options, I mean, she's got the spinny move, and obviously Widow's Kiss means that she can punish stuff from full screen if it's a slow-moving projectile. So that's pretty decent. She's got the spinny overhead move, which is sort of like Katana's fans. Yeah, I guess her movement options are pretty standard. Overall damage, unbreakable damage. She does do a fair amount of damage now. Yeah, I mean, they do tend to. But that's what I mean. That's why I'm splitting it up. So just to let you guys know, for today, well, not for today, but starting from today, if you're a regular, we have. Usually I stream from now for the next 5 hours straight, but from today I'm going to be doing from 10 till 1, so 3 hours, and then I'm going to take a break, eat some food, do some editing, and then I'm going to come back in the afternoon, probably between 4:30 and 5 till 8 p.m. So instead of just having it all in one whack, I'm going to try and separate it over the course of the day. So we'll do the first 3 hours now, and then later, if Anisha wants to play, we can do a death match, and then I can continue it tomorrow, or we can continue it later on today. So there'll be more opportunities for us to do this rather than all 5 hours. 5 hours in a row. Hey, Papa, how's it going, my man? Missed you yesterday, dude. You good? Easy Timo, how you doing, my man? So yeah, we'll see how we get on. But yeah, they do tend to take a while because we tend to get quite in. Okay, yeah, no, like I just said, from yesterday I didn't have a controller, so I couldn't play because my controller finally died. So I just did the analysis, and then today is the first day that I'm doing 10 till 1, and then I'm coming back 5 till 8 or 4:30 till 8. I do, but that other one I just want to keep as a spare. It's not the God of War one isn't. It's still really old and I don't know how practical it is. I'll keep it as an absolute like spare, but for now I just wanted to get a new one. And I actually think playing a little bit with the new one, I feel like the old one was broken as soon as I got it because it felt so stiff. This new one doesn't feel half as stiff, and I haven't even used it properly yet. So anyway, yeah. So that's my new streaming regime. Morning streams from 10 till 1, and then afternoon streams from 4:30, 5 o'clock till 8, depending on how quickly I finish my work. But yeah, overall damage. Devora does a reasonable amount of damage. If we're taking the buzzed variation as her main one, it's not so much about the damage as much as it is about setting people up. So she's, well, unless she gets an anti or a crushing blow, then and she has fatal blow locked and loaded, she can do a fair amount of damage then. But in terms of like standard BMBs, she's hitting like mid 200s and then a setup, so not massive amounts of damage. But yeah, that seems to not be her game plan. Yeah, so a reasonable amount of damage, but not anything to break the bank. Crushing blow requirements. Her crushing blows are fairly practical, especially the anti. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. She's not a character designed to erase life bars. It's more just put down 400 bugs and then slowly chip you out with bugs. Crushing blow requirements. I think she's got a couple of practical ones. Timo, please. I think that's probably the most fun in terms of like hitting people with the Spada's Wayib, but in terms of like actual practical application, it's quite limited outside of characters with slow projectiles. It's probably quite good against Cetrion if you can Widow's Kiss on reaction, but yeah, in terms of like actual practical applications, I think Buzzed is probably the best. But yeah, she's got a few really practical. She's got like her counter hit crushing blow one. She's got the anti-air crushing blow one. She's got a couple on her normal strings. But yeah, I'd say she's got fairly decent crushing blows. Ease of use, she's not that easy to use, as we've just said. Arachnophobia is easier to use, but if you were going to get the most out of Buzzed, I think she is a high difficulty character. I mean, I don't even know if Crazy Gamer plays her anymore still. I haven't really spoken to him recently, but in Combat League there was like a period where I saw loads of Devoras. Now I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw one. So I feel like in terms of ease of use, she's definitely not an easy character to use. Mix-up potential, I'd say, is high. Yeah, she got super hyped. I think that's always the way though. When a character receives a new wave of buffs, everybody jumps on the bandwagon to try and make it work straight away, and yeah, depending on what Sonic Fox does, bro. Wait until if we thought there was a lot of Jades in tournament now, bloody hell. After he won ECT with Jade. Liu Kang. Yeah, I know, right? More Jades. I thought for this Combat League, Jade, Kotal, and Katana are the three that I thought the most. I mean, I haven't played it as much as I usually do, but Jade and Katana definitely the most, with some spatterings of Johnny and Kotal. Yeah, definitely. definitely. Sonic Fox the most, and then Ninja and Foxy, yeah. I don't think she's that strong a character though, Jade. Anyway, we'll get to Jade. We'll get to Jade in a minute. And Lou Shams. I like that. Lou Shams. That was good. Yeah, mix-up potential. I mean, that's her whole gimmick, right? Massive mix-up potential, especially in Buzzed. She puts down 100 bugs, and you have to guess either she's going to go overhead or she's going to go low. But yeah, really strong mix-up character. As I said before, arguably the most premier mix-up character in the game, off the top of my head. Maybe outside of Terminator now. But none of these characters really have like super strong mix-ups. So yeah, D'Vorah strong mix-ups. Tournament results, I mean, this is a funny one, as Stutter just eloquently put. Are we basing this purely on what certain characters can do with them? I mean, we're looking at one tournament win. See, they put Sonic Fox as winning ECT. I don't think that counts, because he didn't play her in Grand Finals. So, I mean, he did win. Oh no, he almost won Celtic Throwdown. No, wait. 9th? Didn't Sonic Fox get second at Celtic Throwdown? He used D'Vorah against Splash. He used D'Vorah against Splash in top 8. I don't know if he used it outside of that. I was like, hey, August, how you doing, my man? But yeah,
my man.
So this is my man. These are a bit skewed, I guess. But yeah, Sonic Fox. It's I don't know how they justify D'Vorah winning East Coast Throwdown when Sonic Fox only used her once. But yeah, I mean, tournaments results wise, outside of Sonic Fox, Mighty Cornholio, my man, thank you for the follow. Outside of Sonic Fox, have we seen anybody do anything with her? It says here King Gambler uses her too, but I've never actually seen King Gambler use anybody other than Scarlet. Leatherface, I'm not entirely sure who that is. He came 4th at Game Over 2019. Okay. Obviously, Honeybee has used her a little bit. But even then, he's mostly been, yeah, using Noob, really. I haven't seen Honeybee use D'Vorah in ages. So yeah, tournament results. I guess you can say they're pretty decent. Thinking, oh yeah, I spoke to him this morning, yeah. He's on his way back home now. Leatherface. Thank God I dropped out of MKX before all of that madness started happening. Easy, Chapos. How you doing, my man? Yeah, I spoke to Jordan this morning. He's on his way back from Zurich now, so he'll probably pop in the afternoon. Yeah, no, he's really happy, man. He's really happy. He ran shower the whole way as well, so you know, it's testament to him. But he got his jersey. He said it was really fun. We didn't talk in depth because he was at the airport, but we chatted for a little while, and he seems like he's happy. So for his first American tournament, he did really, really, really well. Considering, again, and not to make excuses for the guy, but considering the travel. The travel arrangements that he had to just turn up and play basically a 3-day tournament on one evening's worth of sleep. It's pretty mad, but yeah, no, he's doing well. But yeah, tournament results. It's hard. Obviously, you can say that she's tournament viable because if she sucks, Sonic wouldn't play her. But at the same time, Sonic can squeeze stuff out of characters that nobody else can. So, tournament results, I would say, probably aren't there. But if we were to exclude Sonic Fox from this thing, then it would probably be pointless. But yeah, she's doing work, even if it is just through one guy using her. Normal strings, yeah, she's got a lot of good strings. I mean, her strings do have some gaps. If she finishes off her overhead strings, she is very punishable. But yeah, her jump 2 is mad. She's got super long range on all of her normals. She's got super long range on her jump-ins as well. Obviously, her down 2 is great. A lot of her strings can be punished, but I think the strength of the character is that they are used in conjunction with the buzzed variation. This is where, similar to Shang Tsung, who we'll get to later, I feel like she was designed to be used not exclusively with buzzed, but that's definitely where the main element of her design went into, using the long range normals and the traps to make what would be punishable strings safe. Yeah, no fast mid, so yeah, that's definitely a blow up in a game where people like to mash on hit. So yeah, if they gave her a fast mid, if she had a 10 or 11 frame mid, then potentially, but again, she's not. I feel like the characters they've given fast mids to are the sort of characters that they have designed to be in your face. So because they want her to be, it's like Scarlet doesn't have a fast mid because she's not designed to be in your face pressing buttons. She's designed to be played like middle screen, 3/4 screen, using her moves to keep you out. And I think Devora, Frost and Scarlet all play in similar ways in that sort of sense. Even though Frost does have fast mids now, which is mad. But yeah, Devora doesn't have the fastest buttons, but does have a massive long range on her strings. Flawless block gaps, yeah. So flawless block gaps, she has a couple, and as I said, punishable strings. Some of her strings end in highs that can be ducked and got full punished. Some of them end in overhead that can be full punished. But it's more. Actually, I'll tell you what. Instead of we'll just make that normals, and then we'll do punishable strings there. But yeah, when you use properly in conjecture with her setups and stuff, they become much less punishable. So if they're used on their own in stuff like, if you were to just use Arachnophobia, how I tend to run into it in Combat League, which is generally just two unsafe normals on block into Widow's Kiss, then you're gonna run into trouble. But if you play it smart like Sonic and you try and use these strings, or Crazy Gamer, and you use these strings off the back of setups and stuff, then you won't be punished as much. So they're a bit more practical. Wake up options, her up 3 is pretty good. It's got a reasonable amount of range. Her up 2 is garbage. So yeah, it's fairly short. It's not massive range, but it is quite fast. And the same thing with her Fatal Blow, really. Her Fatal Blow, I think her Fatal Blow and her up 3 tend to have similar sort of animations. Her Fatal Blow has reasonable range, not massive range, but it is quite fast. So yeah, I would say not one of the better Fatal Blows in the game, but around middle. Yeah, it doesn't scale that much. Yeah, that's true. It's average. It doesn't scale massively, but it's not like a Scarlet Fatal Blow. So I think in general, I think she's B+. I think that, or B. She's definitely around this area. I want to say B+ purely because of buzzed, and because if a good player gets buzzed in their hands, like Sonic Fox, you really see the character's full potential. just the range on her moves, the strength of the traps and stuff. I mean, if you consider the last time we did a tier list, she was here somewhere. The fact that she's jumped up so much in the cast, like in the rankings, as it were, in the standings, is testament to her as a character, really, and how much she's improved in terms of the buffs she's received. Not so much Variation 3, I don't feel like she's benefited from that at all, but just in terms of the buffs that she's received throughout the course of the game, yeah, I think Devora, I think she's a B+. Anybody strongly disagree with that? Are we happy to leave her at B+ and move on? Going once? Going twice? Alright, sold. Next up, just for the homie stutter, Raiden. The God of Thunder. I don't even think we need to talk about him. I think we'll just leave him there and move on to the next character, right? Who was it? Kano. Alright. This is where we want him in his heart. Yeah. Upside down tier list, yeah. So, Raiden. Well, Raiden is a very interesting character, right? When the game first came out, he wasn't the worst character in the game, as we've said. Frost was considered much worse, Kotzer was considered much worse, Devora was considered much worse, Shao Kahn was considered worse. There were a few characters that were substantially below him on the tier list, and he sort of seemed to linger around the B, C plus sort of area. However, as the life cycle of the game has gone on, those characters that I've just mentioned have slowly received buff after buff, be it in their normals and strings, like with Frost, or with the third variations that they've added, like Frost and Kotl. Like Kotl, last patch, Timo, please. Kotl, last patch, received a massive amount of buffs. So all of these characters that were considered the absolute dustbins have slowly been, you know, slowly been given buffs to the point where they're now considered to be fairly strong characters. However, what that means, and you'll see this a lot in the tier list, I think, I was thinking about it this morning, you'll see a lot of this in the tier list in the sense of characters not necessarily have been nerfed, but just through virtue of the other characters being buffed, they've gone down. So, one of those, and I think the hardest hit of those, is the Protector of Earthrealm himself, Lord Raiden. Variations. The third variation, Truth and Light, received Joe Push and the Staff. Arguably, as Status just said, one of the worst third variations in the game. It seems extremely unpractical and removes one of his most powerful moves, which is the Superman dive, which is the only way that you can make a lot of his unsafe strings safe. Raijin has a lot of interesting gimmicks. I mean, the reversal got nerfed from 4 frames to 6 when it was fully charged, but having a 6-frame reversal that you can use at any time is still quite useful. Raijin has the anti-air as well, which is quite useful. And the low projectile is fairly decent, I would say, but at the same time you need to have the buff on before you can do any of these things. So it almost makes it really difficult for it to be consistent, basically, because you can be doing a combo, you get a counter hit, and then the buff wears off, and then you can't finish your combo. So yeah, he does, in Raijin, he has the lightning, the quick charge. But yeah, I think Thunder Wave is probably his most viable variation. And the sad part about that is, because firstly it has the teleport, which I think is probably his best move. Secondly, it has the Superman dive, which means that he can Superman cancel from like back 1-2 and make it safe once he's cancelled into that. But thirdly, it has Thunder Wave, which... My man! So Thunder Wave is an interesting move in that it's, without a doubt, Raiden's best combo extender, and is a fairly decent move on Oki as well, because it beats a lot of wake up 2s, and is, even though it's a bit slow, is a decent anti-air as well. Tiger Curse, my man, thank you for the follow. So yeah, it's in and of itself, it's not a bad move. However, the fact that on block it has, I think, 30 frames of recovery, and you can duck the last hit because it's a high and get a full punish with any character in the game, makes it extremely difficult to use outside of gimmicky, like doing it like blocks down move, like down 1 into Thunderwave, or unless you get a really good confirm. Because if you don't confirm into Thunderwave, you're dead. You can even get a down 2 crushing blow. That's how slow it is. So yeah, variation-wise, I would say that he does have one practical variant. I mean, this when I say practical with Raiden, it's all relative, right? But I would say both Raijin and Thunderwave are practical, but the only one that you would see outside of a few players really is a Thunderwave for the Storm Cell. Movement options, I would say is fairly decent actually, to be honest with you. He has, in his first variation, the teleport, which, you know, any character who has a teleport is pretty strong, and his is pretty fast as well. So it's not like Cetrion's or Scarlet's. It's got quite a quick start up. So you can punish some stuff on reaction if you're quick enough. Obviously, he's got the shenanigans with it as well. So he's got he can be amplifies it. He can do it. He can do a quick one in front and behind, mix people up. He can use it to make his unsafe strings safe. So, and obviously he's got Superman dive. It's not a great reversal, but you know, if you want to punish stuff from a long way away, if somebody whiffs something that's got massive recovery, you can do with the Superman dive. So I would say that, you know, forward 4 goes quite far, forward 2 goes quite far. So he covers, his wave dash is whack, but he can cover ground quite quickly for such a big character. And the funny thing is, he does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage, and the combos that he has, you know, you can get like 50 damage. I did a 60 damage combo yesterday in practice mode, a 60% combo. Yeah, not talking about all right. So we're talking about in a perfect world, if they don't have breakaway, and you hit confirm into Storm Cell, you're looking at like 300 damage, 320 damage with the optimal 1-bar combo. So that's not bad. That's not bad off a 1-bar. And if you hit crushing blows, while your 1-bar crushing blow combos with the corner carry is pretty intense. It's like 44, 45%. Easy win, Telly. How you doing, man? You good? So yeah, he doesn't have any unbreakable damage really, outside of confirming from a normal string into fatal blow. And yeah, if you do break, because you can break Storm Cell at the start of Storm Cell, you can just destroy him. But he does do a reasonable amount of damage. You can't. He definitely does. His crushing blow requirements. He's got 1-2-1 on a counter hit, which is pretty decent. The Superman dive one, I feel, is a bit. Yeah, I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing good. Just doing some. I love doing tier lists, so I'm always happy just to chat complete breeze with you guys for a few hours. Yeah, so 1-2-1 is a good counter hit crushing blow, even though his standing one is complete nonsense. Yeah, his standing one is complete. It's sometimes too high to even punish, because he like sort of does like a palm salute to the sky. Is his standing one? It's so high that it's actually really difficult sometimes, because he sort of takes a step backwards. Like the arc of his arm makes it really hard to punish stuff, even though it's quite fast. It makes it really hard because of the animation to actually punish stuff that's quite close to you. So yeah, Superman crushing blow. Yeah, there is a Superman crushing blow. If you do it max range and then amplify it, yeah, it's super. I mean, I was going to get to that with normals and stuff. Hey, it's the boy. Easy, Falcon. How you doing, my man? Are you good, good sir? No worries about Saturday, by the way, dude. It was just a shot in the dark. I didn't even end up streaming for that long anyway, so I just thought it'd be something funny. But I want to talk to you about something else later on that maybe you can help me with. Yeah, I'm doing really good, my friend. I'm doing really good. Just going through Raiden on the old tier list. We've literally just started, so you'd only really do it at max range to punish, I guess. I mean, I've never seen it. I've never, like Cornholio just said, I've never ever seen it in a game. Yeah, I'm only putting it there to trigger people that just joined chat. How did it go yesterday anyway, dude, with the arena clash stuff? And how's your phone? Did you manage to sort it out in the end? But yeah, crashing blows I would say are okay. I mean, the if you can actually hit the overhead one, it does lead to a lot of damage. My next competition, whenever the next critical combat is, yeah. What happened to it? Well, you said he just left it there and then it just decided to commit seppuku. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and go to some more local stuff in the coming months, but damn, and you didn't drop anything on it. Next year is when I'm gonna start competing much more. Oh, when are you guys going? Is there a group of you going? Oh, Hyper Combo Leicester, 3rd of November. I might do actually. I might do. What's the plans? All right, actually, I'll tell you what. I'll text you after this if that's cool, and we can. Is there a bunch of the boys going up? Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, if all the boys are going up by train, then I don't mind going up by train. I appreciate it though, Nick. Thank you. But yeah, if they're doing a group thing, but yeah, I'll give you a text afterwards if that's cool, Falcon, and we can talk. We can break down the deets. Are you going? Oh, sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, no, we can talk about it. So maybe potentially Hyper Combo Leicester. That'd be cool. See if I can rob some people with Shaman Nightwolf. But yeah, where was I? Crushing blow requirements. Yeah, the overhead one is a bit slow to use. Oh, okay. Noob and Cuttle out there. Dude, don't sell yourself short, man. You're like me, bro. You've just been in an intense character crisis since this game's first come out. We're both going to get our characters. I can sense it. It's going to be soon, dude. We both, at one point in the not too distant future, we're both going to find a character that we really click with and go on rampage. Yeah, dude. That's the same with me and Reptile, man. That's the same with me and Reptile. Struggle is the answer. Oh yeah, and Spawn in March. Dude, Reptile's always been my homie, man. Reptile's just been the boy since day one, honestly. Well, not since day one. It was Sonya, funnily enough, since day one. But from MK2 onwards, it's been Reptile. But yeah, unfortunately, he is now a move, and thus consigned to the dustbin of history. At least we're not. Yeah, I used to play Baraka as well. At least we're not Ermac mains, because I mean that's the biggest kick in the dick, right? Or Melina mains. Imagine being an Ermac main. Maybe he'll be DLC running through the crypt. Maybe he'll be DL. Oh. That's why I said it, Nate. Oh yeah, Kenshi. Oh yeah, Kenshi. Kenshi got the same thing. I'm so sorry. At least he didn't go out like a bitch. You know, he was surrounded by demon corpses. So, you know, at least he went out fighting. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with this game now, because Ed Boon straight up went... somebody said it to me the other day, I think it was Teabagging Scorpion, said Ed Boon came out and said the story's done. And then I was like, what do you mean? And I googled it, and he straight up said, yeah, the story's done, but it's not the last time you're going to see Mortal Kombat. So, yeah, Human Smoke. Dude, my 3 main characters, listen to this, I've said it a million times. Hey, Viragisaur, how you doing, my man? My 3 main characters are Human Smoke, Rain, and Reptile. Stay free. Why do you think I tried to use Ninja Shane? I've just put him in S tier to trigger people who just joined chat. Yeah, I know, right? And Cobra, funnily enough, is one of my favourite characters ever. I think they could do some really sick stuff with him if they redesigned him, but... did you know I won the Mortal Kombat Deception National Championship in 2004 with Cobra. So Cobra has a special place in my heart, man. Back when I used to play fighting games on a much more regular basis. Well, not as much now, but before I started streaming. So I want a Human Scome. But yeah, Human Smoke, Reptile, and Rain. Shang's ninjas. I mean, I don't like Shang Tsung's moves though. I don't like his normals and stuff. I like his moves, the ninja moves, but yeah, Kenshi is sick. What's his face had a sick Kenshi? Pig of the Hut. I used to like watching his Kenshi. But I was going to call him Bam Bam Guitar, but that's his Twitter. But yeah, Pig of the Hut Kenshi's was good. He definitely had my fatality in 10 when he telekinetically put you into the chopper, the katana. That was effed. Oh, really? Yeah, that's cool. What was he doing in London? Oh yeah, we've gone massively off topic. That's the problem. That's the problem with Jim talking streams, is that I'm like, oh boy, a shiny conversation, and then I lose thread. But yeah, Raiden's yeah. If you block back 2, oh jokes, that's amazing. That's really cool. Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's yeah, exactly. So this is testament to how whack Raiden is. We don't even want to talk about him. But let's just breeze through him because we know where we're going to put him. Crushing blow requirements, back 2 if you block it. Super punishable. If he whiffs it, you can go make a cup of tea and punish it. Ease of use. I don't think he's that difficult to use, to be honest with you, but if you want to use him and not get punished after every string, that's when he starts being difficult. You know, if you want to just try and do back 1-2 staggers all day, you're fine. Yeah, his optimals, yeah, it's definitely his optimals require a bit more execution because I've never been able to do them. As I've often said, stutter is testament to your ability for the consistency in which you hit that. Nightmare against females, yeah, obviously hitbox issues, because why the hell not? Mix-up potential outside of teleport. I mean, he's got the overhead and he's got the low starter. Papa, please. He's got the overhead and the low starter, but they're both really slow. And the back 3-1 has a massive flawless block gap. So, again, unless you're confirming either of those, they're pretty much death. But yeah, I'd say his mix-ups can be quite good if you're... It can be a corner thing. I mean, I've actually been trying to test doing it mid-screen. It actually can be practical mid-screen. So one thing I've been trying to do is finish a mid-screen combo with the back 2. And then, obviously, that means it's locked and loaded, so you can do it straight away again. So, like, you do Thunder Wave, and instead of finishing it with a normal dive, you lose a bit of damage, but you do get the knockdown, the back 2 knockdown, and then it links into doing back 2 as the combo starter. Hardest character in my opinion, probably Devora, I would say. I mean, Jackie needs a lot of execution, but she's really strong. Probably Devora. I mean, as we go through, lol, Aaron Black. As we go through, we'll talk about ease of use and stuff. But I mean, just looking at it at a glance, I would say probably Devora. Yeah. Yeah, see, that you literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say there's a difference between execution and there's a difference between making them work. So in terms of execution, I mean, like, if we're looking at optimal combos and stuff, Jackie's pretty tough. Even Kung Lao, execution-wise, can be a little bit tough. Characters that have command throws that require it, that are like down, back, forward. So yeah, mix-up potential I'd say is okay. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. Tournament results, I mean, speak for themselves, right? I think as Stutter and I were discussing at the start of the stream, and as Plural Might said on Twitter, who's I would say the premier Raiden. I mean, they've got him here. Dalfinate, yeah, Dalfinate uses him. He got absolutely annihilated by Dizzy at UFA. Let's see what Dalfinate's actually done with him. So he's come third in 2 Belgium-only events. And he came 9th at UFA. I mean, probably testament to Dalfinate being sick rather than Raiden being good. But as Plural Might said in his tweet the other day, Raiden was the only character who wasn't on stream the whole day, which is pretty depressing. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I mean, Raiden does have that. I find less people punishing back 1-2 because nobody knows the frame data for him. So he can get away with some shenanigans, or back 1-4. He can get away with some shenanigans, but I think for the most part, especially at high level, you're not going to get away with any of that stuff. You're going to get punished every single time. Yeah, no, 100% Falcon. If you like, I would say anybody that can hit. Actually, I don't know. I'd say probably people who are god level and above. You would never get away with back 1-2 without cancelling it into Superman Dive, unless they were expecting something else, because they will punish you every single time without fail. Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%, Tiger Curse. You've joined the right club. Me, you, Falcon, Stutter's a Raiden player, so he's in a permanent character crisis. I think everybody in this chat at one point, teabagging Scorpion, everybody in this chat in one variety of another. I know. I'll tell you what it is. With 134, it's sort of like the weird, like the auto shimmy. People just, you're so terrified about the overhead that you just never you never block the low. Devora and Frost, that's a good combo. Well, nowadays it's a good combo. You must have had a hard time when the game first came out. But yeah, a lot of these, it's like collectors 4-4. Dude, we're gonna get to Frost, don't worry, because I'm super hyped about Frost. Collectors 4-4 and stuff like that, or finishing off the forward 3 string. Both of those are super minus, but nobody ever punishes them. It's like Dirtbag Kano and the Acid. That Acid is minus double digits, but nobody ever punishes it. They just think that you can get away with it for free. So yeah, a lot of it is matchup stuff, but yeah, Raiden tournament results are awful. His normals are bad. Standing 1 is really high and whiffs a lot of the time and doesn't punish stuff that it should. Forward 1 has a really weird hitbox and is far too high as well. Yeah, exactly. People still block it, dude. People still block Storm Cell's last hit. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I was fighting a Scarlet the other day, and I didn't use Storm Cell once because I was like, there's no point. And then I did forward 4 into Storm Cell, and she didn't duck it. She blocked it. And I was like, this whole time I could have been getting away with absolute, like, immense free pressure, but I just assumed that everybody knows how to block it, but they don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to block it still, funnily enough. But yeah, normals, not great. It's really, really tough. Yeah, I did see that, Cornelia. I was going to talk about that at the end. I was going to talk about that in punishable strings. But yeah, normals, flawless block gap, all of his best strings. 1-2 doesn't, but back 3-1 does. 2-1-2 does. 1-2-1 does. I mean, yeah, all of his strings have gaps you can drive a bus through. And punishable strings, all of his best mid confirms you can punish. Back 1-2 is -9. Back 1-4 is minus double digits as well. Forward 1-1-2, punishable. All of his strings that aren't punishable are flawless blockable. Yeah, 3-1-2 has a huge gap. Literally, like, if they're not, that's the way you have to approach Raiden. If you can't automatically punish his string, then it has a giant gap in it. This is the way that it works, that you can flawless block. So his strings aren't great. Wake up options, up 3 and up 2. Yeah, it's literally just back 1 into nothing. Just back 1. Forward 3 is okay, actually. Forward 3 is a fairly decent mid. But, yeah, literally, back 1-2, back 1 or forward 3, yeah, that's it. Yeah, up 2 is okay in the sense that if you know that they're going to jump, it's quite consistent. But yeah, up 3, you can flawless block. Yeah, I don't think up 2 is really bad. But it's definitely not one of the best. It's very short horizontally, but it's quite good vertically. Yeah, okay, on flawless block reversal, it's pretty bad. But as a wake up, it's not the worst. Up 3, you can short hop, but it has got a reasonable amount of range. It's sort of like Sonya's, isn't it? And then Fatal Blow, I mean, the range of it is fairly long. It's not very fast, but it's got quite a long range, and you can hit confirm it into a lot of stuff. But, I mean, ultimately, see, the funny thing is, I don't even think he is D, but he's definitely the worst character in the game. Like, just his damage alone and the movement options he has in Thunder Wave, I don't think that's D level, but I mean, we'll put him in C now. If there's any character that we put in D, he's either the very end of C or the top of D. I mean, he can't be higher than, he's definitely not higher than C. And if, as I said, if we're putting anybody else in C, then he's definitely in D. But hey, Gucci. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think he's D. I think he's still usable. It's just that every other character that was with him in this section has been moved up now. Gucci with the big 16. My man, thank you as always for the host, good sir. One of these days, I'm going to stream in the morning, like 1 AM my time, just so I can host you, dude, because you always give me the big boy hosts, so I really appreciate that. If one of my mods could stick Gucci Gaming's, yeah, Australian Gucci always gives me hosts, man. He's such a top dude. If one of my mods could please stick Gucci's Twitch in my chat so that people can go and give the boy a follow. Yeah, man. Australia and South America are two regions that we just don't see enough of in terms of... Thank you, my friend. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, please, if somebody could stick Gucci's stream, or Gucci, if you don't mind sticking your own stream in so people can give you a follow, that would be greatly appreciated. Go give the man a follow, because he's always. Thank you, Falcon. Yeah, he streams a lot with Waz. For those of you that don't know who Waz is, the boy. Yeah, thanks, guys. Oh, Wizard. Wizard trying to use commands I don't have, but I appreciate that nonetheless. But yeah, I hope you're doing really good, my man. Did I see you were doing a tier list as well, or did I imagine that? Because I was too focused on mine. But yeah, I think Raiden is a C, right? So even though we joke about him being the worst character in the game, and he is, I still don't think he's D. Hey, another host, bloody hell. Cool, alright, yeah. That would be good. Tasman, my man, thank you for the host. Yeah, we can compare it later. No, but see, this is my point, Classic. If we're going to put anybody else in C, then we'll put him down to D. So, we'll leave D for now, but he's definitely the worst character in the game. Does that sound okay? Leave him at C for now, barring any sort of unforeseen circumstances, and we can move on. Going once. Going twice. Stutter. Does that sound good? F. Sold at C. Alright, next up, Kano. Somebody wanted Kano. So, I'm just going to stick him there for now. If I put them in B+, straight away, it's just because I want them in the middle of the screen. It's not because that's where I'm putting them straight away. Kano. Oh, that'd be sick, man. A combo breaker. Kano. Actually, when is November the 1st? I thought it was just no cues. Sunday. Okay. Yeah, Kano's an interesting character. Kano, like actually D'Vorah and those other characters I mentioned previously, was originally one of the worst characters in the game. Forward 1 at that point was a high, back 1 was super slow. He literally only had one confirm, which was 2-4 into 1-3. Dirtbag wasn't practical at all outside of changes. But like D'Vorah and Frost and those other characters, he steadily had a lot of buffs. Alright, Stutter, catch you later, my man. Sorry for putting you through the misery of making you discuss Raiden, but thank you for your input. It was greatly appreciated. Yeah, where's Sumo? I don't know. I don't know where Sumo is. He hasn't been in a while. Yeah, Sodium Jim's tier list said he's the worst in the game, so when you win with him, you'll be the next video games, low tier hero. But yeah, subsequently, especially in that last patch, received a lot of buffs, with forward 1 being a mid now. And back 1 being 11 frames, I think it is. So now he has much more consistent hit confirms. I mean, forward 1 goes really far as well and jails into itself on hit. So, and also he's benefited from, which we'll talk about in variations now, his third variation is arguably his best one. So he has Ripper, which has the command grab. He has Dirtbag, which has the acid, and then he has Ratbag, which has the Optic Blast and the Snake Bite, which is the confirmable combo extender. All three are fairly viable. I mean, Dirtbag you don't tend to see very often because it is mostly gimmicky, but Ripper and Ratbag especially, I would say, both are very practical variation. Yeah, God sexual. If I ever beat Jordan in tournament, hey, speaking of, what are the odds? Sliding right into the chat, everybody. He heard it. He could hear me wash video games washed up. Yeah, I know, right? Jordan heard us talking about me beating him, and he just jumped in on chat like, James has never beaten me, by the way. Congratulations, everybody. Round of applause for Jordan's first US tournament, getting 13th after some Tom Hanks in that weird film where he gets stuck in an airport level of travel. He managed to go there and do work. Ran Shao Kahn the whole way, which is sick. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Oh, the hell. I swear, right? I swear. I'm going to go back and look through the VODs, but I swear every time I do a tier list, Jehovah's Witnesses knock on the door. It's mad. Maybe they're Raiden mains and they're pissed I put them at sea, but every single time, I swear, Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door. Yeah, why did you pick Shao the whole way? Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses, man. I'm not going to get into that, but every single time I do a tier list, I get Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on my door. They're buzzing every single person in the building. I can hear the buzzer going as well. Yeah, but how comes? Why did you play Shao the whole way anyway? What was the? I was going to ask you about it, but seeing as you're in chat, I might as well ask you now. Oh, you went for the subtle nerfs. Yeah, the Emperor of Outworld. I think you did the right thing, because now Shao can get buffed. So does that mean you're dropping Shao? In before the rest of your chat spends 8 hours today asking you. A+. Oh yeah, we're talking about Kano. But, no, you still did fantastically well, man. And your Shao is, without a doubt, the best Shao in the world. And you still made him look like an absolute monster. You still made him look like an absolute monster. So congratulations. As I said to you this morning, you look sick in your jersey. And yeah, forward 1, 2, back 2. Yeah, definitely. And Ratbag, yeah. So he's got, I would say, 2 practical variations. I don't know how practical Dirtbag is, especially once people learn that how minus acid is on block. As we were talking about before with Raiden, I think a lot of the time that people get away with stuff as Dirtbag Kano is because they don't know the matchup. Plays Dirtbag. I've not seen that, but I know Darth Armour plays Dirtbag and he gets some success with it. Yeah, see, that's what I tell people, though. That's what I say. When you switch to Shao and we're doing analysis, I say, they're like, oh, why did he switch to Shao here? I'm like, because you can tell that even though Nightwolf or Jax, whoever, might be better in the matchup, he's more comfortable because he's probably played the match with Shao a million times more than he has the other characters. So he's more likely to do that match. Yeah, there you go, yeah. I mean, I say that in analysis all the time when we're watching Jordan's matches. You know, sometimes it's better. And that's why when I see people switch, so if we're talking about switching, right? If you look at somebody like Sonic Fox, he switched to Jade as soon as he lost with Johnny because he was like, right, I know I'm going to beat Katana with Jade. Like, instantly switched to Jade. That was pure, right, I'm picking Jade, boom. But then if you look at Combat versus Hey George, he's like hovering over Shang, hovering over Johnny, hovering over Garrus, and you can see that that's not the right way to play it, because he's not picking. He was so lost in that matchup.
My man.
My man. Yeah. The usages for ECT were pretty funny. Yeah, of course they were all you. Who else is it gonna be? Nobody else is mad enough to play Shao Kahn against Team Busy. My man, thank you for the follow. Yeah, no one else is mad enough to pick Shao Kahn in this most stacked tournament outside of Evo. But yeah, I'd say three variable variations. Two of them are very practical. Dirtbag, we can make an argument either way. Movement options. Obviously, Kana Ball is an amazing reversal, and he can do it in the air, which makes it even a good air reversal and a good whiff punish, and just a good tool for getting in if you want to. But we'll definitely get to Frost as well, because I really like the new Frost. So fairly reasonable movement damage. He's got a lot of advancing normals, like forward 3 moves him forward, forward 4 moves him forward 1 obviously goes quite far now as well. Imagine Falcon. Jordan, just the new patriarch of your family, just sitting at the head of the table every dinner time. But yeah, fairly decent movement options. I mean, it's quite linear, but he can cover quite a large distance in quite a short period. His wave dash is okay as well. So yeah, fairly decent movement. Damage, I mean, Snake Bite is a very consistent amount of damage, especially if you get a crushing blow, because obviously back 3 and the Optic Blast in Rep Bag both give you counter hit crushing blows, which give you 300 damage. So that's big damage, obviously unbreakable. No, but then that's the difference. So the difference between Ripper, as Mustard put it, Ripper is if you want to play like an arsehole and just do down 1 Kana Ball, down 1 command grab, you know, just play like an absolute nut bar. But Rat Bag is if you want to play him more as like a complete character. So Ripper's still viable, and obviously command grabs are unbreakable, untakeable damage, but Snake Bite has those, as I said, the 2 crushing blows, which, as I think, again, there was a sequence where he was against a Liu Kang, and he did a down 2 into 50%, then he did an Optic Blast. He basically did 3 reads for 3 crushing blows, and the guy was left on like 0.5%. So he can do a lot of damage, especially in Snake Bite, in Rat Bag variation. So his damage, and it's consistent damage too, and it's not even that difficult to do. So yeah, the damage is quite good. As I said, crushing blow requirements, especially in Rat Bag, are super easy because they're both just on counter hits. Yeah, but I feel like if you have a counter hit one, especially because I think counter hit ones or throw fail ones are the best ones in the game, because you don't want to have one that requires like reading a roll or max distance, or because all of that is much less consistent damage than if you know, like if you get a read on somebody with, say, yeah, exactly, precisely, it's the accessibility. So you know that that was why Garrus was broken. His crushing blows were broken before, because they were all on counter hits. So you could just bait out anything. Yeah, I mean, that's Combat League. That whole sentence is Combat League in a nutshell. Get hit with a down 1, and then I go for a throw and get down 2, and it makes me want to just frisbee my whole computer out the window. Not the monitor on my PlayStation, my actual whole desktop computer, which is almost as big as me. Just pick it up and discus that shit straight out the window. Ease of use. Ripper's a bit more complicated in terms of execution, because, as I said, doing the command grab consistently is easy. Nathan, how you doing, my man? Doing the command grab consistently requires a bit of execution. But Snake Bite, I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I mean, they've made them more consistent in the sense you can choose when to use them, but because you can combo, you can combo into them now, but he plays in a bit of a different way. But we'll get to Garrus. We'll get to Garrus in a minute, because Garrus is a very interesting one. Poor Paolo, man. So many people are calling Paolo out recently. But Garrus is a very interesting one. We can even do him next, actually. We'll do Garrus, and then we'll do Frost. But yeah, ease of use, I'd say Kano is fairly... Are you back home now, Jordan, by the way? Are you good? Or are you waiting at the airport still? He's still in Zurich. Mix-up potential. Outside of Ripper, he has no mix-up. But then, you know, he does have a lot of tick throws and Ripper variation. He's got an overhead, and he's got a few fairly decent lows. His down 4 is pretty good. So I'd say mix-up potential is okay. Similar to Raiden's in a sense. So yeah, not the worst, but any character with a command. Oh, you're home. Oh, good, man. I'm glad that you got a safe journey. Yeah, no, all right. We'll do Garrus next, seeing as everybody's talking about it anyway. Tournament results, none. I don't think I've ever seen a Kano even in top 8, outside of Mustard and Biohazard. And the only time I saw Biohazard use Kano in tournament, he got absolutely annihilated by Fearless998. My man, thank you for the follow. Got annihilated by the man himself, Jordan. Video games, yeah. No, unfortunately not good, sir. I've got some friends coming around for a jam sesh. Are there tournaments at Comic-Con though, or do you guys just go for the jam? Normals, pretty strong, I would say. As I said, back 3 is a long-range, mid-crushing blow. The overhead's got pretty decent range. He's got excellent sweep. Forward 1 is amazing now. He doesn't have much gaps. The only issue he has now, really, is that forward 1-2 can go over a lot of the cast. Okay, yeah. No, I went in May, I think, and I got... So you know that anime I linked you the intro for earlier, Falcon, when you were asking about anime intros? That's my favourite anime, so I went and got that. I went to MCM last year for my brother's birthday and bought that on DVD, so I was gassed. But yeah, other than that, it's too big now, man. It's a bit too extreme. But yeah, it's such a sick anime. But yeah, the only really thing that he struggles with now is that forward 1-2, back 2, that string can whiff on a lot of people. So Mustard did a really sick... I know I keep talking about him, but it's because he's the Premier Kano. Yeah. It only jails on a few characters. Other than that, you can... If you're stand blocking it, it jails you. Every character in the game. Yeah. Every character in the game, if you stand block it, it jails you. You can't duck any part of it. But if you're duck blocking, there's only a few characters in the game that it still jails on. There's certain characters that you can down 1 after the forward 1. And there's certain characters that the whole string will whiff, like most of the women and Johnny Cage. How good is Katana? Well, we'll get to Katana. She's definitely been buffed a lot, though. So yeah, if you're a Kano main, I would definitely suggest watching, or if you're not, just to learn the matchup, I would definitely suggest going to PND, Ketchup and Mustard's YouTube and watching all the videos that Mustard's done on Kano, because you guys will learn a lot about the matchup that way. Wake up options. Up 3's got a fairly decent range. Up 2's quite good at catching people out the air as well. I think both of his wake up options are pretty decent. And Fatal Blow, arguably one of the worst in the game. Super slow, really punishable. It travels a fair distance, but yeah, it's not amazing. But I would still put him at B+. Ultimately, I think B plus is fair for the fact that all of his tools that he has, you know, all the buffs that he's got. There's no way that he is can be considered a bad character anymore. Two decent variations, one not great. Forward one, even by itself, outside of the rest of the string, is an amazing normal now. And like I said, Rat Bag makes him much more of a consistent damage character, especially in terms of damage output. But I'd say B plus. Anybody disagree with that? Anybody think that I'm chatting breeze and you know, you'd put him somewhere else? Or are we saying that B plus is solid? Going once? Going twice? Sold. Okay, B plus. All right. Seeing as we were just talking about him, my man Gerald. Woo, Gerald. A very, very interesting character. Shao dead last. Yeah. We'll do Shao after Frost, seeing as you're here. Actually, we'll do Shao next, seeing as you're here, because you might pass out soon from the travelling, and it'll be good to have your input. So next up is our boy Gerald. I'm just going to go to Lou. Yeah, the Sandman, yeah. Oh yeah, of course, and Falcon as well, yeah. Probably the only two. Actually, Classic plays them as well now, if I'm not mistaken. Gerald. Yeah, Falcon is so true. Finally, I can be the #1 Shao Kahn in and you just see Jordan sitting behind you with his afro. Oh, by the way, hold on. Let me see if I can post this picture. I took it from the stream, and it made me laugh a lot. From Jordan, it was a picture of Jordan the other day after he won one of his matches. Where is it? Where's screenshots? Aha! Alright. I'm gonna put... You can explain to us what you were doing, what was running through your head at this exact moment. You probably even know what I'm gonna send you. Oh man, how do I... I'm going to direct message it to Falcon so he can laugh, and then I'm going to use that to post it onto the stream. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm just going to quickly change it to new game scene so you can't see our sordid private conversations. Hey, Fearless. Yeah, see, that's why Garrus is a very interesting character. But again, we'll talk about that in a second. Jordan, can you explain what was going through your head at this point when you full screen shouldered Cosner? Look at his face. That's a funny picture. I play on PlayStation 4. So for those of you that are unaware, this face preceded. So he was in quite an intense set. Cosner was pretty solid actually with Sonya. Yeah, I know. You looked so. The funny thing was the camera shot after that was you looked like on your face, and you were just looking so like unclean. Amazing. But yeah, Gerald, old Gerald, henchman of Chronica. Much lamented character. Variations. I mean. The only character repeated in top 8 was Garrus, and we saw all 3 of his variations. So, yeah, 3 very, very, very strong variations. Obviously, Infinite Warden is the most played with the Sand Trap, and up until now the Broken Gauntlet, which gave him access to extreme damage. Falcon. Falcon Blitz. So 2 people used him, and we saw 3 different Garrus variations. So that's testament. One of them was by mistake, lol. But that's testament to the character's ability that he was the only character in top 8 that we saw twice for ECT. New Era obviously has the command grab and the sand hourglass setups, and then Eternal, which is the slightly less used one, but combat used Eternal Garrus more or less the whole way up until top 8, and he was doing some disgusting stuff with the sand trap, the sand simulacrum rather, which is super plus on block, which makes it really tough to judge against tick grabs, amongst other things. And he really put the variation on the map, and we're going to start seeing a lot. I've already started to see a lot more tech come out in regards to it. Exactly. Every variation of Garrus, and like I said, the only character that we saw twice in top 8. So really, really strong character. Movement options. Outside, his wave dash is fairly decent. I mean, outside of sand trapping somebody, he doesn't have fantastic movement options. Actually, saying that, obviously, Sand Simulacrum, he can now teleport. So that already makes him even a bit more scary, especially if he has the Simulacrum behind you and you whiff something and he just teleports behind you and gets you into a full combo. So arguably buffed movement options with Eternal, and if he hits you with the Sand Trap in Infinite Warden, he teleports behind you. So I would say very strong movement options. Damage, really strong damage. Obviously he still has his crushing blows, which do crazy damage. All of his variations do 300 plus damage for B&Bs. Unbreakable damage, always, again, command grabs are unbreakable. His is a mid and can tick off a lot of his buttons, especially in New Era when he starts doing the time reversal stuff. Just tons. He's always been a character that just does a lot of damage. Crushing blow requirements, amongst the easiest in the game, arguably. I mean, beforehand they were all counter hits. Now they're less accessible in terms of using them as a counter hit, but he can now choose when he wants to do them. So now if he has you in the corner, he's going to end in the corner crushing blow. If he has 2 sand traps whiffed, he can finish off a combo with the... Yeah, exactly as Papa just said, set play crushes now. So, you know, the sand trap in outside of Infinite Warden, if they're blocking high, it crushes. So that's still technically a crushing blow mix-up. So if you were to do 1-1 and they're blocking high and you hit them with the sand trap, then that's going to give you the crush. Same with 2-4 into sand trap, that's going to give you the crush. I actually played him on Friday for a little bit. It was quite fun playing him again, to be honest with you, after not playing him for so long. Hello, Karatic. How you doing? You good? But yeah, really straightforward crushing blow requirements. Ease of use, very simple to use. Obviously, we'll talk about ease of use and mix-up potential, because I think with Garrus they go hand in hand. The mix-ups and stuff you get with New Era are reasonably... require a little bit more brain power. But in terms of actual ease of use, you can probably get away from getting to Demigod by just doing forward 2-1-2 and then down 1 throw. So, yeah, I would say very easy to use. A bit more difficult to use if you want to start playing a more of a mix-up heavy version. But, yeah, very easy to use otherwise. Tournament results, I mean, we haven't actually seen a Garrus win a tournament in a while. But you just look at all the Garruses, like Deoxys is playing Garrus, Gur's playing Garrus, Burrito Voorhees beat Jordan on the weekend, so, you know, shows you that he... I mean, Burrito Voorhees is sick anyway, but, you know, top 8 Burrito Voorhees, top 8 Combat, playing Eternal Garrus. So he has won majors, but if you look at the Shoryuken thing, you can see who's number 1? Garrus. Obviously Tekken Master uses a lot of Garrus. Well, yeah, that's what happened to Jordan on the weekend. They said Burrito Voorhees only used the 4-2-2 counter hit once, and he used it to win the set. Because, you know, it's still, if he hits you with it, that's 300 damage over. So that's... It's just that one practical counter hit that he can just use and get you with. But yeah, you can see here at the top, number 1, what was it, the most top 50s, just underneath Jackie, top 1-7, second only to Jackie. So he hasn't won as many going forward as he did at the start, but definitely still a lot of strong tournament showings. We saw the reverse playing Garrus in UFA. He got top 8. So yeah, still he might not have won many tournaments recently, but he's always a tournament for contention. Yeah, the reverse 25 was pretty solid, man. He played quite well. So yeah, always a character to fear, regardless of the situation. Normals, arguably amongst the best in the game. You can't flawless block any of his strings. As far as, apart from 1-1, you can flawless block if you're fast. Forward 2-1-2, now that they've removed the ability to low profile it is very solid and really easy to use pressure to. You can flawless block 2-4. Oh, cool, I didn't know that. Probably because I never ever see it used. Forward 3, really long range. Forward 1, really long range, catches people out all the time. As Papa just said, forward 2-2, catches people out if you're not used to the matchup. Back 2, I mean, he's got all of his strings have got really long range. Arguably the best jumping in the game with the body splash, 6 frame down 1. Outside of forward 1-1-3, he doesn't have a lot of punchable strings. Devora's B+, because she's received a lot of buffs recently, and she's a really strong set play character. Nah, she's not A. She still has to work really hard, I think.
My
My man, you can't be a Cabal could have the best normals. Garrus has arguably, as I said, arguably amongst the best. But I'd say Garrus's are pretty close. Kevin Smoke Kush, my man, thank you for the follow. Cabal's got really, really good normals. His strings are probably the best, or amongst the best. Again, anyway, not flawless, blockable, all safe. But no, I don't think Devora is A. I think you have to put in too much effort to with Devora for her to be an A at the moment. But she's a very strong character, and she's gone up a lot. If you consider she was arguably the worst character in the game at one point, the fact that, like with Kano, both of these were considered the worst character of the game at one point, and now they're solid upper mid-tier characters. I think that's a good place to stick them for now, barring any other unforeseen buffs. Wake up options, best up 2 in the game. His up 3 is really good as well because it goes the whole way around him. So yeah, this isn't a matchup tier list though. These are the criteria for this. I'm gonna do a separate matchup tier list at a different time. So yeah, I'm not talking about matchups in this tier list. We're just looking at these things here. We're taking them as characters, and we're taking a look at how they've been used in like the wider offline tournament. Because this isn't an online tier list either. Because online would be Kung Lao all the way like that, and then the rest of the characters. So this is just the criteria that we have for these characters at the moment is here on the right, and then yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would maybe put Katana on there as well now, but yeah, the online and offline tier lists are very different. Kano, yeah, I think it'd be hard not to put Kano at least here now, just for all the buffs he's received. And Ratbag variation is really good. Like I said, the accessibility to even just the crushing blow damages means that he goes up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. That's why she's there. If she was easier to use, then you can put her higher up. But the fact that she still requires, you can't just throw bugs out. There has to be a logic to it. Means that she has to be B+. Yeah, you're 100% right, Nick. Ratbag, I find that with Ratbag, a lot of Kanos either love it or they hate it. There's no in between. I think people just looking, like me, I'm not a Kano player, just looking at it from the outside and listening to people like Mustard talk about it, I like, actually, yeah, I've played it a little bit and I can see the value of it, but a lot of Kano fans, Kano mains, prefer Ripper. Like Galloping Sumo prefers Ripper, and he's a high-ranking Kano in Combat League. I think Monster Panda still plays Ripper as well. So, a lot of the Kanos that I know, that I see in Combat League on a consistent basis play Ripper still, but it just depends on the style of who you want to play. Like I said, Ripper's a bit more, shall we say, untraditional, or less traditional rather, in the way that it's played. Whereas, you mean Forward 1. But yeah, you're 100% right. Forward 1 is a mid now. Forward 2 is the sweep, the like rugby tackle. But yeah, Ratbag is a lot more consistent in terms of it being a character. But yeah, wake up options, 2 of the best wake up options in the game, and a fatal blow that goes more or less half screen. I mean, he's S, right? You can't put him outside of S. I don't know if I don't think he's the best character in the game, but he's definitely riding high at the top of the tier list. Just an all-round really, really strong character. One of the few characters with 3 consistent 3 consistently strong variations as well. Yeah, Garrus is S, yeah. I don't think that's in a dispute. Outside of Garrus down players, I don't think there's any down player. Yeah. The third one. So the third variation is the Sand Simulacrum. So he has access to a teleport. So he puts out a Sand Clone. He can either teleport to it, or he can make it explode. If it explodes, you get a pop-up. And if it doesn't explode, it's super plus on block, which leaves you open for other setups, basically. So, Geras. Yeah, so it adds, and he's obviously got that reverse time move. I've never seen that be used. I don't know if Combat used it on the weekend and I missed it, but that'd be pretty funny too. I can imagine some shenanigans, but B or C. We'll see. We'll see. With Terminator is an interesting one. But yeah, Geras says S. I don't know, Prince. Combat was using it to extreme effect on the weekend. I mean, he got to top 8 more or less exclusively using Eternal Geras. So I think it's just a matter of time, and I've seen some more stuff on Twitter since then that has shown that it can be a bit more practical than we had originally imagined. But yeah. Oh, the reverse time. Sorry. Yeah, reverse time is really weird. Yeah, no, don't worry, Jordan. We're keeping him in S. We're keeping him in S. Yeah, no, the reverse time move is really weird. I don't know how you're gonna have a practical application. No. He's staying in S. He's staying in, just whereabouts in S at the end. We'll have to see, but he's definitely sticking at the top. Yeah. So now, I think it's safe to leave him there. Now we'll talk about this guy. Seeing as Jordan and Falcon and all the other guys who play him are here, I'm just putting him in A for the sake of him being there. I'm not putting him A straight away. The Khan. Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah. Josh, please. We'll take a look at the Khan, seeing as we've got the Khans in chat. Yeah, so variations. 1. I mean, Skewered, I think, is good in the sense that it's much easier to hit reasonable amounts of damage. Because it's you don't really need to do anything with Skewered and you can still get almost 400 damage mid-screen. You lose a lot in the corner, and the spear charge is much worse than the shoulder charge. True Khan, they seem to have buffed the time off the taunts, but again, I've not seen anybody use True Khan. So I think in terms of actual competitive tournament variations, if we're using Video Game Yo as our only Shao, which I think at this point is probably a credible thing to do. I've never seen Jordan use anything other than Risen Emperor. So you know. Yeah, True Khan, yes, True Khan, right? True Khan. I've only ever seen Jordan use it against me, and he smoked me, but I don't know if that counts. Risen Emperor, yeah. So he's only really got one really competitive variation, and that's Risen Emperor. Especially seeing as they've lowered the time it takes for the Dark Priest buff to come out. So you see Jordan doing a lot more setups now, like finishing combos with 2-1 and then going into Dark Priest, hitting the spear from full screen and going into Dark Priest. So Dark Priest seems a lot more practical now to put out mid-game without the risk of getting super punished. True Khan has the hammer hit thing, and he's got the 2 taunts, the you suck taunts, that lower your damage. But yeah, to lose out on Annihilation for that. No. I'm just putting them there for now. Just I'll put it here so people don't freak out. I just put it there because I wanted it in the middle of the screen, but I'm not putting Shout A. Yeah, I mean Jordan is really good at using the up hammer in terms of practical combos for setups and stuff. Yeah, and Annihilation is just the best way to cash out your damage, especially if you've got the Dark Priest buff off. Jordan's trademark now is down one Annihilation. Everybody wants to. Whenever he puts on the Priest buff, they're like, "Do down one Annihilation." Yeah, I mean that's matchup stuff as well, right? If you don't get down 2'd immediately when you do up hammer, then you just have to keep using it because you know they don't know how to deal with it. But it's good for Chip. It's really good for Chip. Movement options, he's pretty slow. His wave dash is really fast. Obviously shoulder is a really fast reversal and it goes quite far across the screen. But outside of that, outside of wave dashing, forward 4 I guess. Forward 4 I guess moves him quite fast. Damage, he doesn't have much unbreakable damage, but he has a lot of damage. I mean, we've seen Jordan delete people's life bars in 2 touches. I want to see if he can, if his match versus Randy Slammer is up. Just so we can watch it on stream with him here. He doesn't have. Oh, he does. What are these adverts?
Big range, big old hammer.
Let's just watch this game.
Shao Kahn is, but
this game, I think. I mean, I feel sorry for Randy Slammer because this is. I would say Baraka's probably his best match. Jordan's probably best matchup. Yeah, it's all breakable. Yeah. He has to put a little bit, but it's not like. It's not mad execution. You just have to be able to dash after you get confirms. And even then, after his 1-bar ones don't require any execution. The corner ones for the optimal do, definitely. But even if you don't do optimal, you're still getting hench damage. Let's just watch this match because I really enjoyed watching this.
Big iconic BGY Shao Kahn moments yet, but I have no doubt we will eventually see them. All big whiff.
I mean.
And again, just keeping it
literally, Baraka, he probably played against Baraka more than any other character in the world, but
just gonna back off and try to whiff punish. And there is
standing one.
Strong whiff punish at that.
Up hammer into Dark Priest. See, this is what we were talking about. Now he's got access to Annihilation.
Oh, hit confirm, no breakaway, you're dead!
Yeah, he might as well.
And then just down 2. I mean, that's 320 damage. That wasn't even a combo. That was just hit confirm into Annihilation into down 2. He probably could have got about 50% because he had both bars and Baraka couldn't have broken.
The front throw crushing blow and the
last frames.
Annihilation crushing blow.
Sweet.
Like it's Half-Life. It's so scary.
I love watching this match, man. Literally the only damage that,
yeah. He's having a lot of trouble opening up video games, and he's trying to do it in the wrong ways. He's jumping a lot, and he's getting opened up by those.
This combo, what was this?
Oh my goodness.
9 down ones. 9 standing ones in an anti-air combo. What was that?
Oh my goodness. So many standing ones.
That BM corner combo.
Literally back to the wall right now. Be careful. Reversal throw counter.
Good tech.
Quite get anything though, the throw tech. Extended down one coming through. Randy Slammer wants to keep that distance, but it might be a little bit too in vain as video games do. Every time he gets a hit, he's going to be wave dashing his way into you point blank and just getting as close as he can.
And how many times did he hit with that back to with the standing one anti?
This is going to matter as the down 4 is going to do more than enough, and Video Games Yo is going to win his pool. Make it through to play tomorrow.
No, I just wanted to watch. Yeah, I was just talking about Shao on the tier list, so I just wanted to play that match for the people just so they could see what I was talking about in terms of crushing blow requirements and set like Dark Priest setups and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, ease of use, I would say not easy to use. I think in terms, if you're good at hit confirming, the actual ease of use for his combos, they're not massively difficult to do. But outside of the corner, like I said, the optimal Shao Kahn corner combos do require a bit of execution. But when I mean ease of use in this instance for Shao, I don't mean execution. I mean in terms of utilizing his game plan effectively, which is to get you, basically you saw standing 1 down 4, standing 1 down 4, standing 1 down 4, and he just completely, I mean, it sort of goes into mix-up potential as well. Shao Kahn doesn't have a mix-up, right? He doesn't have a mix-up in terms of like overhead low or whatever, but if you block that standing 1, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so that's what I said. In terms of execution outside of the corner, you don't need a lot of execution. But yeah, in order to effectively utilize his game plan, man, you have to be very, because it's all about conditioning them, right? You have to condition them because it's all about making them block that standing 1. It's about making them block the standing 1 and fear the down 4. And from there, that's when you start to pick them apart, force them to make a mistake, and that's when you hit them with those big 50% combos. But it's not like Garrus, which you hit confirm and then you get a 50% combo. For him, he has to keep you guessing to the point until you crack, and then that's when you start getting hit by all the down 4s. So you think, oh my god, I'm going to jump. He anti-air standing 1s you, and then, oh dude, that's everybody's problem though. That's my problem. Like, oh, I've this guy just jumped on wake up. I down 2'd him. He's not going to jump again. So I go for a different Oki and then he jumps and I'm like, I can't even. Yeah, whiff punishing. I mean, he's quite good at whiff punishing. Yeah, that's it. Standing 1 down 4. But that's the game he has to enforce on you. That's not something that he just gets as a you know, like a gimme every time. It's not like Jackie. It's not like a 9-frame mid where he can just assert himself. You know, standing 1 is still a high, right? So you can uppercut it, you can low poke it. If you block it though, it's +4, and that's when the I was gonna say shenanigans. It's not really shenanigans. That's where the pressure starts. So I would say mix up potential in as far as you can enforce a standing 1. Tournament results. There's no point really talking about that outside of Jordan. Ironically, he's not the best Shao Kahn though on this Shoryuken thing. Funnily enough. Who have they given that to? Lordrak. I've never heard of Lordrak before in my life. Outside of when I do these tier lists, and then I click Lordrak, and I'm like, every time I go, who is Lordrak? I mean, Jordan got 2nd with Shao Kahn in the EU West qualifier. He ran Shao Kahn the whole way in ECT and got 13th. So, I mean, tournament results, there's no point really looking at tournament results. We can just say that Jordan's really good with him and Jordan does well with the character, but I know, it's weird. I don't know what, but they've got Jordan as the best Jax, funnily enough. So, if we were just to look at Jordan's results, I mean, you can see versus fighting 7th, Shao Kahn and Jax. Celtic Throwdown, 4th, Shao Kahn and Jax. Ultimate Fighting, he used Nightwolf, and Shao Kahn. And then Shao Kahn through East Coast Throwdown. It's just weird that they wouldn't, I think because they've put Jax as his main character, so I don't know. I don't know why they've done that. But yeah, outside of Jordan, he doesn't have many tournament results, but Jordan does smoke people with him, so. Normals, I would say quite strong normals. Forward 2 is a really good whiff punish from a long way away. Standing 1, +4 on block is mad. Down 4, obviously, is a terrifying button. His sweep has really long range. So I'd say he's got quite a few decent normals. Forward 4 is really plus on block. Yeah, back 2, yep, thank you Falcon, yeah, back 2. It's easy to confirm off standing 1s with back 2 because it moves him forward. So it's quite a good advancing normal. Yeah, really, I'd say he's got a bunch of good normals. punishable strings, a lot of his strings, because like forward 2s are high, so if you get the read on that, you can uppercut punish that every single time. Forward 3 floor is flawless blockable. A lot of his strings, if he ends them, are flawless, are punishable too. So he doesn't have amazing strings in terms of pressure, but then again, that's what we were talking about in terms of ease of use and the game plan. It's not really to use his strings to pressure and to get big damage. It's to poke you with the butt of his hammer over and over again. Like, stop hitting yourself, until you go mad and freak out, and that's when he starts to open you up. So, not amazing strings, but it's fairly decent normals. Up 3, really, really good. Up 2 is quite good as well. Both really long range because he uses his hammer to do it. And what bottom 3 fatal blows in the game, amongst the slowest. So yeah. Well, we've seen both the Shao Kahns, the only decent Shao Kahns I know, have both said that he's A. I mean, I would have probably put him down. I would have put him in B+, but if they're saying he's an A, then I'm happy to put him as an A. Because he does do crazy damage, and he does have great range. But he is quite an honest character, funnily enough. You know, outside of +4, anyone being +4, and every single Shao Kahn in the entire universe mashing down 1 after sweep, outside of these two, he's not an easy character to use. But yeah, I think A or B+. Does anybody disagree with that? I mean, like I said, Jordan and Falcon both put him as an A, so I'm happy to put him as an A for now. Because he's better than these two, definitely. If we're saying these two are B+, he's definitely better than both of these two. So yeah, I think as I said, A. All right, I'm happy to put him in an A. I don't need to do going once, going twice. If the two, like I said, if the two homies who play him put him as an A, then we can put him as an A. Who should we do now? Who's next? Yeah. Go on, Falcon. You can pick. We'll do Baraka because Nick asked, and then Baraka, then Cabal. Okay. Baraka, Cabal, Noob. Okay, we'll do those 3. All right, Baraka. Baraka's an interesting character. I think when the game first came out, a lot of people underestimated, including myself, how much damage he actually did. But as the game slowly progressed, starting to see that even like the least optimal B&Bs are getting you 380 with a dot. So he's quite a strong character. Variation-wise, I would say he has one clear variation that seems to be the main use, which is Marauder, which obviously has the gutted combo extender and the longer range normals, which are really practical as well. But Bone Picker I still think Bone Picker is really good. Unfortunately, the command grab is a high, so it can be ducked. But the Bone Spike is an amazing move, and the Bone Picker, if used in a smart way alongside his long range normals, like Ultra David did a really, really good video on it. I don't think they ever posted it on their YouTube, but if you go back through his VODs, the Ultra Shin VODs, he showed a lot about how all of Baraka's buttons leave you in perfect range to be command grabbed, basically. So if you sweep, you're in good range for command grab. If he knocks you down, you're in good range for command grab. So Variation 2 does have a lot of practical use. And Variation 3 as well is a bit weird. It's not... I don't think a lot of people have used it so much so far, but Leg Kebab being a low means that you do get a lot of 50-50s, like with 1-2-2 and back 3-1 into Leg Kebab. +5 restand in the corner. Ultra David. This was ages ago though. I watched it. It was an hour and a half. It might be on his YouTube, but Ultra David is like the premier Baraka, I would say, in terms of tech-wise on YouTube. I've not seen anybody else. Yeah, exactly. Spine Burst is a fantastic anti-air that you can actually combo into if you're fast enough. Yeah, I mean, forward 4 is pretty decent as a mid anyway, right? It covers a massive range. And if he hits you on a counter hit, forward 4-4, forward 4-4 into, in third variation, forward 4-4 links to, you can combo into Blade Charge and Baraka Zerka, whatever it's called, from mid-screen. So, you know, and it combos to Bone Picker, and it combos a Fatal Blow. So, I'd say he's got 3 decent variations, you know. Again, Leg Kebab's going to need a little bit of working out, I think, but having a +5 restand, especially when he leaves you point-blank range to him in the corner, is pretty solid. I mean, in Combat League, it means nothing, because people are just going to jump or mash out of it anyway. But, yeah. It seems, at the moment, to be quite a long... Shoryukening into top tier. I think when we get to the S tiers, that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of contention. I don't think people are that much fussed about these ranks, but when we get to the S, basically when we rank top 5, yeah, +5 restand is amazing, dude. But it's not gonna, in Combat League, it doesn't mean anything. It might as well be -20. It puts you basically in sweep / forward 4 range. So it's sort of like Scarlet's restand with Blood Drive. Yeah. So if Scarlet does the Blood Drive, the blood sucking move on you that keeps you stand, it's better than that, but it puts you at that sort of range. So perfect range for a sweep. You know, if they jump, perfect range for a down 2. But yeah, in the corner, I can imagine once people start figuring it out, to have it all have much more practicality. So 3 good variations. Movement options, obviously he's very limited. Okay, we'll do noob next. You let me know when you want me to do Cabal. But we'll do noob next. Yeah, no, plus frames is an absolute myth in Combat League. I mean, Terminator's restand is +14 if he finishes a combo with amplified shotgun blast. In my entire life playing Terminator, I don't know how many games I've got, but every single time without fail I hit somebody with that shotgun blast, nobody ever blocks it. I always get counter hit because people are mashing. Every single time. +14 and people still mash. Anyway. Movement options, yeah. He can cover quite a lot of ground. If he has Bone Picker, if he has Blade Charge or Baraka Zerka or forward 4-4 or back 2, both of these oh dude, don't, honestly, please don't trigger me. For me, it's definitely the thing that triggers me the absolute hardest in Combat League and makes me want to throw myself out of a window is when I hit somebody with a down 1 and I get down 1 straight back. I just can't. It makes me so sad, even more than getting meshed out of plus frames, even more than getting jumped on all the time. If I hit somebody with a down 1 and I go for a standing 1 or something else and I get hit with a down 1 back straight away, I'm just like, I can't. Yeah, it is Garrus. Focus. Just for now, by himself. Catch you later, Wintelly. But yeah, sorry, I just had a Vietnam flashback. When you said that, Falcon, did you see I just started to zoom out into middle distance, like... Crushing blow damage, overall damage, really high. Especially in Marauder. Very, very damaging combos. Crushing blow requirements, very easy, I would say. I mean, he's got 2 crushing blows on his throws. He's got Gutted, which is just after a certain amount of hits. Forward 4-4 is a counter hit. The ones in Berserker are a bit tough. They're a bit tougher. A couple of them are you have to block late, and they're never great ones. Hey, Jake Keller, how you doing, my man? It's fuzzyable with 1-2-2. It's not fuzzyable with back 3-1. Back 3-1's a 50-50, but 1-2-2 is fuzzyable. How you doing, Jay Kelly? You good, my homie? Oh yeah, 1-2-2 counter hit. Yep, thank you, Nick. So He's got a lot of really practical crushing blows. Ease of use, as Falcon and Nick and everybody else has alluded to in chat. Easy to use, I would say. Like, his optimal combos are a bit trickier, but you can do unoptimal combos, as I said, and get 380 damage. Mix-up potential, not so much in Gutted, but in the other two variations, as we've said, with the leg kebab being a low, he can get you with 50-50s. And in Bone Picker, he has the command grab. What, down one, chop chop. Top tier auto shimmy. Yeah, I was going to talk about that with normals. That's good, Jake. Yeah, down one, chop chop. But yeah, ease of use, mix-up potential is pretty high. Tournament results, we just don't see it. That's the thing that gets me. We just don't see Baraka being used at a high level. I don't know why. Tweedy used him at the start for a little while and then dropped him. DJT used him for a little while and then dropped him. As far as I'm aware, I don't think he was playing Baraka. I think he was playing Nightwolf on the weekend. I could be wrong. But we just don't see it. We just don't see it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this character. Oh, that Pro Stunner played him and got top 8 at in the Intercontinental, the European West tournament. Zoro actually did pretty well with him at UFA with Baraka. So, you know, there are a couple of solid players, and he has got a top 8. But yeah, true. Bone Picker, and the command grab both. If you're not expecting it, you can get hit by either or. All right, Falcon, catching a bit, homie. Thanks for popping in, man. It's always love as always. But we just don't see the results. I don't know why. It's not that he's difficult to use. I mean, maybe he just struggles against the other characters who are considered to be top tier, but I don't know. It's just not there. I mean, if we look at Baraka on here, DJT, yeah, I mean, Zoro. Oh, Killer Shinnok, yeah, of course. Killer Shinnok is a really good Baraka. I forgot about him. He did really well at the Brazil tournament a couple of weeks ago, Brazil Game Show. No, maybe, alright, maybe we do see him more than I was thinking about, to be honest with you. But yeah. Normals, as I think it was 4Chris just said, really, really good auto shimmy. 1-1 is one of the best auto shimmies in the game. Really long range normals, really good sweep. Yeah, Nishin's Baraka's really good, yeah. Waz mopped him, yeah, I can imagine that. Back forward, sweep, really good long range. In Marauder, he's got diagonal down forward 1 and jumping diagonal down forward 1, which both give him long range. Forward 2's got quite a long range. Forward 4's got quite a long range. So I think a host of really good normals. Flawless block gaps, I mean, that's the mix-up, right? In this, Baraka more than most, I think, can benefit from people. Like Scarlet in Heart Pierce, he can bait those flawless blocks out quite a lot. So you get like 1-1-2, and if your up 3 isn't fast enough, or your up 2 isn't fast enough, and he finishes off with Gutted, he can bait you out into Marauder, and into Gutted rather, and still get the Gutted to grab. Not a lot of punishable strings on block though, if I can, off the top of my head. Everything is safe. I mean, they do have gaps. 4-2, 1-2, you can flawless block. 1-1-2, you can flawless block. But yeah, other than that, he's mostly safe. Wake up options. Up 3's got quite a long range. Up 2, similar to Shao Kahn, but a bit less. Up 3 and up 2 work in the same ways. And his Fatal Blow is really short range, but it's really fast. So if you're not careful, he'll just blow straight through whatever button you press, because it's sort of like Jackie's, quite slow, sorry, quite short range, Oh yeah, and he can combo into it a lot. Thank you, Nick. So yeah, so I would say yeah, he probably is A+. I mean, damage output alone and the ease of use. Oh yeah, down 2. Yeah, of course, down 2 is a very good normal. I would say it's the second best uppercut in the game after Jade's. But I think A+. Yeah, I said sweep. Yeah, sweep is a really long range. Again, just ease of damage and ease of use. Noobs is good. I don't think it's better than Baraka's, but it is really good. A+, anybody disagree with that? Think that he's not that good and we're upplaying him? Or do you think A+ is a good place? I mean, I've always put him at A+, because he's never been nerfed. So why would he... You know, he's never been nerfed, and the characters around him... I mean, he loses maybe to the characters around him, like, especially Outtake Johnny, I imagine he can struggle with. Cetron, we did see Dat Pro Sana beat Asadamazi once, but then he seemed to struggle. So, you know, he can do well against Sonya, as we saw, Killer Shinnok, but, you know, maybe it's just he just lacks that... Like Forcris said, he's too linear. Was it Forcris that said that? Or did I just put words in his mouth? Somebody said he was too linear. But yeah, alright, so we'll keep him an A+. And now we'll do Noob Saibot. Noob is a very interesting character for Chris, yeah. Noob is a very interesting character. Outside of our favourite Dane, hasn't been seeing much competitive play, I don't think. Actually, did Toxin use him on the weekend at ECT? Krathen got top 8 at UFA. So, I mean, he's been used a lot, but he's gone through a bit of a weird change over the last few months. In the sense of where he's been put. But we'll talk about that as we go on. Basically, variation-wise. So, we can do Aaron Black next. Variation-wise, originally, the main new variation, obviously when there was only 2, was Dark Sabbath. Seeing Double still had some practical application. Honeybee, oh okay. Oh yeah, Blade Spark's really good as well. I didn't even talk about that, but yeah, Blade Spark is a really good projectile as well. No, I didn't, but yeah, you're right, Rune. Blade Spark is a really, really good projectile. One of the few Rushdown characters that has really strong projectiles as well. Him, Liu Kang, and Sonya all do big damage. But yeah, Noob. Dark Sabbath was the main one for a long time until they obviously Anishin was a user of Seeing Double, but mostly people just put their stock in Dark Sabbath because of how much damage it did. I mean, he's a very straightforward character, but Dark Sabbath optimal combos are quite damaging, especially in the corner. And obviously he's got the restand with the ball as well, the spirit ball. But as time went on, Seeing Double got a very strong buff in making the slide amplifiable, which not only makes it safe, but also means that if he hits it 5 times now, he gets the 10 crushing blow shadow tackle, which is now an actual practical crushing blow, whereas before it was more or less completely unpractical. You weren't really ever going to hit 10 slides like that. But his third variation is trash. I mean, they've added, I can't even remember what it's called. Shadow Emo Man. It gave him Sickle Snag, Sickle Toss, and Pitch Black. Thank you, Chili. I knew it was based on a film, I couldn't remember which one. Pretty Woman. Shadow Toss, which is not very good. Sickle Snag, which by itself is not very good. And that weird air down kick. Noob is one of those characters, and there's a few of them, and we'll talk about them as we get to them, but Noob is one of those characters where the NetherRealm devs heard people saying, we want Sickle Snag, we want Sickle Snag, we want Sickle Snag, Sickle Snag's so good, Sickle Snag's so good. And they were like, fine, here's Sickle Snag. But the problem with that is that they wanted it in conjunction with, hey, how's it going, David? Yeah, I shaved on Friday. It's more or less grown back now, though. You should have seen me on Friday. Your eyes would have exploded. Yeah, Sickle Snag without the amplified teleport is basically useless. Yeah, as we've just said in chat, you can confirm into it from forward 2, but to lose either of the slide, the amp slide, the air teleport, or the combo teleport, you just lose too much for what isn't a very practical move. I mean, yeah, it's not the worst overall variation, but it's definitely much worse than than Dark Sabbath, or Seeing Double. Seeing Double and Dark Sabbath are both really, really good. And then, yeah, exactly. 113 becomes completely useless in... Yeah, no, I knew what you meant, yeah. 113 becomes completely useless, and that's his fastest combo Punisher. Movement options, I would say Noob. Noob is a weird one because he doesn't have... Well, obviously, he has two sorts of teleports, which are really good. But his slide is a weird one because it sort of gives like fake movement, right? Like, it's not like a Sub-Zero slide that actually moves him forward, but the range of his movement, technically, because of how far it goes, is quite high. Forward 2 moves him forward quite far. I mean, he's got... I've not seen anybody wave dash with him. But what do you think movement-wise, Nace? What's his back dash, forward dash speed like? I mean, obviously, he's got 2 teleports, so... The air teleport especially is practical if you get a good read. They're both really slow, so you're not going to be doing... And that's not like Scorpion. And they're super duper punishable as well. But, yeah, movement options. Alright, so he's a bit slow. Overall damage, I would say, is high. Like I said, especially Dark Sabbath, you're looking at like 380, 400 damage mid-screen 1-bar combos, which is mad. Seeing Double as well, as Ray Rune just said, you're hitting, from any confirm, you're hitting 25% unbreakable damage, because it's all, you can't break any part of that. It's all grounded until you get launched with the with the clone. So 25% unbreakable damage off of every confirm. That's, what, 4 touches and you're done. Crushing blow requirements. His crushing blows are a bit rubbish. I mean, the back 1 counter hit is pretty good, because that does a fair amount, even though it was nerfed and then put back to what it used to be. Crushing blows on throws, yeah, very strong, as they often are. The back 3-1 is a bit rubbish because you generally don't tend to block low against Noob. The Shadow Attacker 1 used to be rubbish but is now really practical. So yeah, I would say that he's got a fair amount of practical crushing blows. Ease of use, I would say Dark Sabbath is quite tough to use because it requires a bit of execution, especially for his main combos. I would say Seeing Double is fairly easy to use. I think a lot of the... I think it's more the fact that in terms of ease of use for his Seeing Double game plan is mostly, from what I've encountered, to be blocked down button into slide. And because it's safe, not unamplified slide is punishable, but because amplified slide is safe most of the time, like Blackjack, all he ever does is slide from full screen or down 4, and same with Eisen when I played him too. So, yeah, Seeing Double much easier to use than Dark Sabbath, but Dark Sabbath is definitely not easy to use in terms of execution if you want to get optimal combos. Mix-up potential is 0. He doesn't have any mix-ups. I mean, 212 is a really good auto shimmy, but in terms of having a low overhead or anything like that, he's only got 1 overhead, which is 112, which is flawless blockable. So, Yeah, I don't. Blackjack is the most combat leaguer who's ever combat leagued. But yeah, no mix-ups. He's not a mix-up character. Yeah, but that's not specific to him though. He's not got any low starters in terms of combos, so there's no reason to ever block high against him basically. So yeah, you're not really getting. Hey, Logic, how you doing, my man? Not great mix-up potential. Tournament results, you don't really see many. I mean, like I said, Anisian did really well the other day and got 4th in that European tournament, but he's not even on Shoryuken, so it's not here. Honeybee and Toxin both play him, yeah. Krathen, as I said, got top 8 the other day, but you don't really tend to see a lot of noobs high ranking in tournaments. Yeah, that's spoiler alert, that is what I was going to do. But Nace with the reads as always. Yeah, back 1-3 is good. Yeah, he's got a 9 frame mid. Yeah, it's just super punishable. So if you don't get the confirm, it's -17. So that can be reversal punished by a hell of a lot. Normals, I would say were good. Forward 2, really good range. Back 1, good range. All of his down buttons are good. His uppercut is good. He's got a fast standing 1. Yeah, really good normals. Strings, the only thing, they are punishable, but you've got to be ready. Like 1-1-3 is punishable, but you have to be ready for it because he can just confirm it into slide anyway. 1-1-2 is flawless blockable. Forward 2-1-2. I actually don't know if that's safe all the way through. I don't think it is safe, is it? Forward 2-2-1 rather. Forward 2-2-1-2. I don't think that is safe if you do it the whole way, but people just tend to cancel it into special moves anyway. Wake up options. Up 3 is okay, average. Up 2 is pretty decent, I guess. Oh really? Oh, okay. So is it just forward 2-2-1 that comes out then? Okay. So yeah, wake up options are fairly decent, and Fatal Blow is really slow and can be quite tricky to combo into because it comes out from the ground, so it is quite difficult to combo, but it tracks and goes full screen. So yeah, I think A. I think he's a solid A tier character. He's been around this point since the game came out. He's received a few buffs, like I said, to seeing double that made him a little bit stronger, but he is quite linear in the sense of his game plan. Like I said, 2-1-2 is a really good auto shimmy, and he's got good fast reversals, but I meant like up 3. Up 3 is quite fast. Oh no, up 2 is good. It's not a bad one for jump-ins and stuff, or if you read a throw. It's not like Nightwolves. And up 3 is exactly the same as Sub-Zero, so up 3 is okay. It's quite fast. And it's not punishable on block. They're not terrible. Nightwolves are much worse than I don't know, I think they're okay. I mean, you can low profile it, but you can low profile a fair few of them, I found. I'm rating the characters using this criteria, Aerotech. So this stuff here on the right. So these aren't matchup. This is not a matchup tier list. This is not an online tier list. We are not talking about matchups. We're not talking about use in Combat League. This is using these criteria to this is using these criteria to. Now I think Xiao probably is better than Noob. Or maybe he isn't. No, I think maybe Noob's better. Only because Noob has 2 good variations and Xiao only has 1. But they're very similar. But But yeah, this is the criteria we're using here on the right arrow tech for why we're putting them where we're putting them. But yeah, noob is an A. Anybody disagree with that? I think Nay said stick him next to Shao Kahn, and he's the only noob. Yeah, partly Blackheart. No worries. Yes, that's why I left it here so everybody can see the criteria that we're using. Anybody disagree with noob being an A? Going once, going twice. Sold. Alright, well we can do Kotal now actually. Kotal's an interesting one. So, Kotal Kahn. Kotal is a really, really weird character. I've said that a lot this game because the last time we did a patch there's been a lot of... last time we did a tier list there's been a lot of Buluk. There's been a lot of changes. So Kotal Kahn often considered to be bottom 1, bottom 3 definitely. But in the last patch has received an extremely large amount of buffs. 3 variations. Buluk, as people in chat are mentioning. Yeah, basically Arotech. But as people have mentioned in chat, Buluk was his 3rd variation, which was... yeah, true actually, Ray Rune, that's a good point. So even before the last patch, yeah, you're right, Kotal did get buffed in the sense that he's the only character in the game with 1,100 health. Shao Kahn has 1050, and a couple of the females have 950. But he's got the most health in the game, and now he's been given a whole host of buffs on top. So Ascension now, 1-2 has been made into a tick throw. So if he hits you with 1-2, he can either do 1-2-2, which is plus, but does have a flawless blockable gap, or he can do 1-2 into tick throw. Forward 2, obviously, is a really strong full screen, almost mid. It's quite fast for what it is. Ascension, it still has the command grab. What else? Down 3, they made Jail into standing 1. Totemic is fine. I mean, Totemic is the worst variation he has, but he's got a projectile immune full screen reversal in the cat. So that's pretty useful against certain matchups. And then obviously Buluk, which is the damage buff and the damage reduction buff, alongside his self-healing with the Sun Ray, makes him really difficult to deal with. Movement options. Wave dash is really good. He's quite slow, but his wave dash is really strong, and his forward 2 allows him to cover a lot of ground in a short period. I think it's 19 frames start up, so for the range that it goes, yeah, he's quite slow. He's not like outside of wave dashing. No. He's not got the best movement. His dashing is okay. His dash speed is okay, but he's not sliding across the floor into your DMs. I mean, his wave dash is amazing. His wave dash is really, really good. So he can get into your space. See, I don't know. I've never seen people really use it. They rely more on forward 2, and then high level they wave dash. I've not seen people don't tend to just dash at me as Kotal. But yeah, forward 2 by itself, exactly. So his movement options are pretty strong, and obviously the cat is really fast, and he can do it in the air as well. So fairly decent movement options. I mean, he is a big hulky character, but he can move quite quick when he's wave dashing. Damage, I mean, really high. In the second variation, it's not massive, but in the first variation, obviously the command grab buffs his damage. So if he hits you with 2 of those, then he does his B&B 1 bar B&Bs start to do a lot of damage. And yeah, Buluk, if he puts down those totems, I mean, we've all seen those Twitter videos where he's doing 900 damage forward throws with a crushing blow. So really, really, really good damage in Ascension and Buluk. Crushing blow requirements, I would say, were quite straightforward. You know, 1-2-2 counter hit. Forward 1-2-2 counter hit, crushing blow. Crushing blow on both throws, which is obviously, as we've mentioned, really good. Punishing with the discus isn't that difficult. So yeah, really good crushing blows. Ease of use, I would say easy to use. He doesn't require a lot of execution at all to do. I mean, Ascension requires a little bit more execution, but in Buluk, as long as you've got the totems down, you know, even just your standard totem ender is doing plus 300 damage. So I'd say very easy to use. Mix-up potential, strong, especially in Ascension, as we've said. Command grab can be tick thrown off a lot more stuff now. And he's got the mix-ups on the crushing blow, and he's got the unblockable as well, which is 40 frames startup, but if you're not expecting it, you will get hit by it, and the range of that is really strong. So yeah, very strong mix-up potential. Tournament results, still not seeing it. I mean, it's only been one patch since he got mega... It's only been one tournament since he got mega buffed. But he's still second worst in this game. Quark 28, whoever that is the best Kotal. I mean, Furious Pillow and Valarax both did better than this. But I guess neither of them are on Shoryuken. Obviously Mr. Aquaman plays him a lot, but he's not a tournament player. Yeah, the cat move is -9, so it's not safe, but it can be quite tough to punish if you're not ready for it. No, the cat move is punishable. But yeah, we haven't seen the results yet. Maybe it's just early days. Oh yeah, Coach Steve used him a little bit in at UFA, but then at ECT, but then used Jackie in top 8. So at least I'm sure he didn't. No, he didn't play Kotal in top 8. Oh, sorry. So yeah, Kotal tournament results haven't been there yet, but maybe time will tell as they go on. Normals, very good normals. Down 3, very good. Gels into standing 1. Forward 2, really good. Back 2 has a lot of range as well. Forward 4 has a lot of range. Forward 3-4 has a lot of range. So basically his whole gimmick is just to hit you with range, right? Hit you with those big long range buttons. But yeah, forward 1 is good as well. His strings are trash if you were to finish them all off. They're all super minus and they've all got massive gaps in. But at this point, I think people have started to realize it's less about using his strings and more about basically mixing them up. I got hit with forward 2-2 when I played Raw 2 Real, who's a dustbin Kotal. I got hit with forward 2-2 into forward 2-4 into unblockable several times, and he actually did that to me on the set to win the set. So really good strings, but in the sense of their movement and their speed, but bad strings in terms of how punishable they are on block. Like forward 1-2-2, super punishable. Forward 2-4-3, super punishable. Back 2-2, super punishable. Easy White Heart, how you doing, my man? You good? It's been a while. Are you keeping well, sir? Wake up options. Up 3's got a fairly decent range. We can do Scarlet next. Up 3, fairly decent range. Up 2, fairly decent range. Fatal Blow is a bit slow, but it's 2 hitting, so yeah, I mean, I would say Kotal is now A+. I mean, the fact that he's got so many buffs, and he keeps getting buffed, the range on all of his normals, his access to damage is really easy. Similar to Baraka, his access to big damage is really easy, but he's got much better mix. In fact, I would put him better than Baraka. much better, much easier access to damage. Yeah, 2 very good variations. 3 past, like, if you're going to add Totemic as well, pretty decent. But Ascension and Bullock are both really, really, really good. I would say A+. Does anybody disagree with that? Does anybody think that he's not that good? And I'm upplaying him. Anybody think A+ sounds good? Where would you put him, Nace? Okay, we'll do Cabal then Scarlet. I might as well go 2 to 3. I'll go to 2. Oh, actually, how much have we done? We haven't even done half the cast yet, have we? We'll do a couple more, and then I'll come back later and we can finish off. Oh, just I disagree. Oh, I think for now, A+. Yeah, Nace just likes to be a contrarian. Alright, so A+. We'll do Cabal. Old Cabal. Cabal, another interesting character. Considered to be near the top since the game's come out. Has never received a nerf. But the addition of Speed Demon, which is a 3rd variation, has given him low spinner, which is a good combo extender, and the air hook grab, so he loses the mix-up. Oh yeah, Nightwolf will be yes, but we'll get to Nightwolf after Scarlet probably. Yeah, Nightwolf, 3 very good variations. Obviously, Clean Cut has the one that does the least damage, but it's 50-50, so you just have to guess. The ankle grab isn't safe, but you have to get the read. Mean Shriek has the cancels. He's +2 when he cancels, so it's his advantage. And it makes, gives him a mix-up, another sort of mix-up, as opposed to the one that he doesn't have in Clean Cut, which is more about 50-50s. And then obviously now you've got Speed Demon, which doesn't have really any mix-ups, but you can do 60% damage combos. It just has ridiculous amounts of damage. Oh really? Oh okay. I thought it was +2. He was always +2. But yeah, cancels just add another layer of shenanigans, don't they? Any sort of cancels like that keep you on your toes. So yeah, 3 very one of the few characters in the game that has 3 very strong variations. Movement options. He has Nomad Dash, but outside of that, not great movement options. I mean, Nomad Dash is good, especially if they read a projectile. It can cover a lot of distance quite quickly, but yeah, not great movement options. Mostly just the Nomad Dash to try and get in, which is super unsafe. Overall damage, not great in Clean Cut, but it is unbreakable because it's literally just string into the low. So it's low or overhead. So it's more about chipping you down. Mean Streak, again, not amazing damage, but Speed Demon, if you get touched, then you're going to lose 30+%, and off fatal blows, it starts getting crazy. So if you want unbreakable damage and chipping away at somebody, you go Clean Cut. If you want to touch them and delete them, then you pick Speed Demon. So he's got a big spectrum, basically. Yeah, Speed Demon is mad. Crushing Blow requirements, I would say, were quite easy. Forward 2-2-4 on a counter hit does decent damage. Back Crushing Blow is good. Back 1-2 on a counter hit is good because the range is really high. I don't even know if he's got any on his Speed Demon variation. I think those are the main ones. But decent Crushing Blows that he can get a lot of good damage off of. Ease of use. I would say Clean Cut is really easy to use. Mean Streak isn't as easy to use. And Speed Demon is fairly easy to use. So I would say ease of use. In terms of his combos, they require a bit more execution. Outside of Speed Demon, you don't need that much execution, but to hit his B&Bs in the other two, you do require his main ones, his optimal ones, you do require a bit of execution. But in terms of like game plan, ease of use, I would say easy to use. Mix-up potential depends on the spec, as we've said before. Clean cut, his an amazing mix-up, it's 50-50, so you just have to guess. Mean streak, mix-up is pretty strong. Now, Cabal's not A, I'm just putting him there for now while we talk about him. But, yeah, I think very strong mix-up potential, especially in the first two variations. Speed Demon doesn't have any mix-up, but you trade the mix-up for damage. Tournament results, like Baraka, you don't really see many Cabals do anything. Nivek, yeah, Nivek is the only Cabal that I've seen. Oh yeah, Kerbalicious, bloody hell, yeah, Kerbalicious on the weekend, that was funny. And Sonic Ninja in the UK, but yeah, true with the restand. You've got the restand. Yeah, I forgot about that in Speed Demon. What else? You've got Nivek really is the only Cabal that I've seen use him consistently, and even then Nivek hasn't done much. Oh, Nivek crashed the system. 33rd at East Coast Rodan. I mean, he did, yeah, he's done fairly well. The peak was around here, where he went to versus fighting and got 4th. So I'm getting 9th at Celtic Throwdown. So, I mean, he's still doing work, but Cabal hasn't had that big top 8, like, breakthrough tournament, yeah. The tournament results haven't been great. Normals are amazing. He's got a 9-frame mid with forward 4. Back 1 has amazingly long reach, probably the longest back 1 in the game. Between that, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, the 3 back 1s. Forward 2. Otherwise, his sweep's got quite a long range. Yeah, forward 2-2. Yeah, that's the thing, is that he is very straightforward. Down 4, yep. Well, that's, yeah, I was going to get to strings now. You can't flawless block any of his strings. So, you know, and they're all safe. So that's, I think might be the only character in the game that can say that. Really, really strong strings. A lot of really long range normals. But as Viper King just said, very linear in terms of his approach. And his gimmicks don't lead to much outside of Speed Demon, but even then you lose the gimmicks and you have to go for just getting confirms. Obviously, yeah, really good projectiles. Wake up options are both rubbish because they're both unsafe. Up 2 had quite a good reach, but yeah, both are really unsafe. And maybe the best fatal blow in the game, top 2 fatal blow in the game. Full screen, can react to anything. The fact that he runs off the other side of the screen makes it really difficult. Shao, well, the reason why Shao is A is because Video Games Yo told me to put him in A, and he's the best Shao Kahn in the world. So I was like, I was going to put him in B+, but he thinks he's an A, so, and Falcon as well, who's a good Shao. So I was like, well, if these boys think he's an A, then gosh golly, he's an A. But Cabal is A+, I would say. He just has all the tools. I mean, again, he's a bit more linear than a lot of other characters, but upplaying, who would upplay him? Nobody upplays anybody. But yeah, I would say A+. Cabal's A+. A bit harder to use than these two, maybe. So I wouldn't put him above either of them. Comparable damage though in Speed Demon, and maybe I don't know. It's tough because his strings are so good. Maybe he is better. No, I'll put him better actually because of his only because of his strings, right? The fact that he's so unpunishable on his strings makes him such a strong character. So I'm just turning my PlayStation on and off. Yeah, 3 good variations, as Viper King just said. Good, really good projectile. One of the best fatal blows in the game. Really good mix-ups depending on the variation. No flawless block gaps. They're all safe. Yeah. All right. So A+. We happy with A+? Going once. Going twice. How do I do with Cabal? Sold. I don't really, Whiteheart, to be honest with you. I find it really difficult to deal with. Nightwolf does quite well against him because of the reflect. And lightning arrows beats the trade if we were both grounded. But I've always struggled with Cabal with every character. I'm going to do Scarlet, and then I'm going to do Johnny. And then, so usually I stream for another couple of hours, but starting today, I'm going to do a morning stream, and then I'm going to come back in the afternoon. So I'll do Johnny and Scarlet now, and then I'll go, and then I'll come back at, I'll come back in three or so hours to finish it off. So I will be back and I will finish it off. Yeah, teleport. Yeah, Scorpion actually does quite well against Cabal. Because you can teleport, if you can react to his fireballs with teleport. And back one is quite a good range as well. Scorpion's back one. But yeah, Cabals have always been a really tough matchup for me. But we'll finish with Scarlet and Johnny, and then I'll come back later and we'll finish it off. So if you guys want to find out what happens later, give me a follow and I'll be back. So what's the time? I'll probably finish at 1:30, and then I'll be back again probably about 4:30, 5. So 3 or 4 hours I'll be back. But we'll do Scarlet for now. So Scarlet, another very interesting character. I've said it a lot today, but Scarlet I think is quite a polarizing character in that a lot of people think she's either really good or really bad. A lot of people don't think that she's average. Wonder Chef went out on Twitter yesterday saying that he thinks she's one of the most overrated characters in the game. But then Sonic Fox puts her in top 10. So, you know, very, very polarizing. I would say 3 strong variations. Heart Pierce is definitely the best variation. Hemorrhage adds a couple of cool options. Blood Drive is cool, but not having the teleport I think hurts it a little bit. But then you've got the Guile-esque Sonic Boom, Slow Sonic Boom, Blood Bubble, and the Restand, which is pretty decent and can do a lot of damage. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. She's polarizing. Sonic Fox said that she's good. A lot of people think that she's bad, but we'll get to that when we talk about tournament results. Movement options. She obviously a Heart Pierce has a teleport, which makes always a very useful tool. The other 2 variations don't, so she has to approach normally otherwise. But then that's her design isn't to rush in; it's to zone anyway. Overall damage is quite high, to be fair, because you have to think that if you do easy half African, how you doing, my man? Yeah, not having the tentacle is really tough in Hemorrhage, but you do get the dot and the shield and the low, so you do get access to other tools. Her damage is fairly high, to be honest with you. I mean, especially depending on which variation you have. Hemorrhage does quite a lot of damage, and Blood Drive. And you have to think that her best punish is 212. You don't need a bar. She does 300 damage with no bar. So You know, her damage off of punishes, like mid-screen combos. Yeah, yeah, exactly. For a zoning character, she does quite a lot of damage when you consider that it's unbreakable. It's you don't have to spend a resource to do it. Rather, her normal confirms, like her standing one options. She's not going to get a lot of damage, but then she does push you full screen. So, yeah, I was going to say about the fatal blow when we get there as well. Or 4/4 into the low move in hemorrhage, or into blood drive into the blood move in blood drive for the restand. So she can, whatever variation she has, she confirms into a special that leaves them either her at advantage or into big damage. So yeah, she does a fair amount of damage for a zoning character. Crushing blows, I think, are pretty good. Obviously, she's got crushing blows on her throws, which is always really good. Back one is quite a good whiff punish if you shimmy them with it. You can't get any more damage off it, but on a counter hit, that's fairly decent damage. The double overhead works more often probably than it should. So yeah, a fair amount of really decent crushing blows. Ease of use, I think if we're talking in terms of execution, her ease of use is fairly straightforward. But if we're talking about her being able to effectively utilize her game plan, then I think she's a very difficult character to use. Yeah, in terms of her game plan, utilizing her game plan effectively, I think she's one of the more difficult characters in the game to use. Kit Khan, thank you, bro. Thank you, homie. I was gonna say thank you, bro, and homie, and I said bromy. Thank you, my bromy, for the host. Much appreciated, my dude. It's been a while. Hope you're doing very well. And you're happy with the katana buffs. But yeah, I don't think she's a very easy character to use at all. I think she definitely needs some playing before anybody can get a real use of how to execute her game plan effectively, because it's not just zoning, right? All of her normals, all of her strings can be flawless blocked, and all of her normals are minus by themselves. So you can't just do forward 2 because she's minus. You can't just do back 1 because she's minus, you know? All of her best longest range moves outside of standing 2, which is 0, but it's a high, are minus. So yeah, you have to be ready when to use these moves, because otherwise you're going to get clocked every time. Yeah, I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. Work stuff. Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember the old school days. But yeah, fairly difficult to use. Mix-up potential. I mean, she's got a good overhead. She's got no low starters. She's not really a mix-up character. Hey, Sia, congratulations, my man, on winning yesterday. Seeing as you just two-manned their whole team. Yeah, not really a mix-up character, but she's good at what she does, which is keeping you out, especially when she has the tentacle. Tournament results, 0. So again, another character like, you know, Baraka or Cabal, characters that people have often considered to be good. King Gambler, I mean, he's got 1 top 8, I think. Which was DreamHack. Yeah, DreamHack Dallas, he got 4th. Texture Showdown, he got 3rd. CEO, 33rd. DreamHack 17th. ECT, 33rd. So she's just not getting the results. I feel like with Scarlet, she has the I was discussing this with video games, yo, and I think welcome to Combat League IRL. Yeah, I think the matches that she wins really well, but the matches that she struggles with, she really struggles with. There's no in between. Like, characters that she can keep out that don't have teleports, essentially, they stay out, right? You're getting tentacled, you're getting Bloodboard, you're getting carpeted, you know, the whole 9 yards. But if you've got a teleport and you read, or somebody against like Garrus, you only need 1 sand trap and then you're in, and then she's screwed. Because she's not got any fast mids. You know, as we've said, all of her strings are flawless blockable. So she really tends to struggle. Yeah, Vanilla Ice Creamy. Everybody needs to watch, please, in fact, I'm going to put his Twitch in the chat. Because he's probably my favourite person to watch, because I love his Scarlet so much. Do you guys want to watch an absolutely sick Scarlet on a regular basis as well? I mean, I think he said he's had uni at the moment, but... Yeah, Vanilla Ice Cream is the boy, man. He's really, really, really good with Scarlet. If you guys want to... And he plays all of the variations as well, so... Nah, I mean, Noob doesn't make it that far. But yeah, Vanilla's the one, man. If you guys want to watch a really good Scarlet, he's smoked me in Combat League before as well. But yeah, normals, really good normals, but as we've said, are unsafe, but they have really good range. Standing 2 is a high, but is 0 on block, and on a confirm is her main combo starter. Forward 2, really long range, good anti-air. Her sweep is, I think, the longest range sweep in the game, potentially. She's got a good overhead, which is unsafe, but it's quite fast. Really, I think really good normals. The only thing is they are unsafe, so you have to be careful when you're using them from close range, because she can get punished, and that goes with her strings as well. Every single one of her strings, apart from 2-1-2, I think, can be flawless blocked. But that's where the mind game comes in, right? That's where people like Ice Creamy and Gambler use the parry, because they bait the flawless block and then they get the parry. So, but yeah, forward 4-3, punishable. 4-4 is +5, but it's a high. Forward 2-1, flawless blockable. You know, they're all flawless blockable. So you have to be really careful when you're doing it, because 1-2-4, flawless blockable. You just have to be very careful when you're doing it, because otherwise you can get reversaled against somebody who's like... Jordan will flawless block you every single time. So you just have to be so careful when you're throwing it out. Up 3, one of the best up 3s in the game. Up 2 is pretty bad. And the Fatal Blow, even though it's not particularly long range, it does insane damage. I think it's like Half African just said, if you combo it in from forward 4-3, it doesn't scale at all. It does about 50% almost. So really, really, really damaging. Yeah, dude, the amount of times that I've accidentally just punched it because I'm expecting her to put it down, and then I get stabbed in the neck and she gets all her life back is mad. But yeah, really, really strong. Strong Fatal Blow. So yeah, I think A. I think she's A. I think she's A. I don't think she's in this category. I don't think even though she has a lot of tools, as I said, the matchups that she loses really hard, and the matchups that she wins really hard. But yeah, I think she's better than Noob. I just think Noob's a bit too linear, you know? Outside of seeing double, because remember, she has 3 good variations as well. He only has 2. I mean, Air Teleport is a big read, though. No, Noob, Seeing Double and Black Sabbath are both good. They're both really good. Yeah, dude, that does a lot of damage. If you do Standing 4 into Fatal Blow, it messes up with the scaling or something. Anyway, I don't know if they've changed that, but no, Dark Sabbath is not trash, man. Dark Sabbath, you get 40% 1-bar combos. You do a lot of damage. Who do you think she loses to? Scorpion. I think she loses to people that pressure her. Yeah, yeah, just this hat. Just look at Raiden just peeking over the top. Hey guys, what about me? No, No, we'll leave you out. It's unsafe, but it's 9 frames. So he's part of a very exclusive 9-frame mid club. He's wicked. He's a good character. Don't get me wrong. I mean, A is still good. It's just he's not better than these guys, and I definitely don't think he's better than Scarlet. It's only better than Dark Sabbath now, and even then, I wouldn't say it's better because it's different, right? You wouldn't pick Dark Sabbath and Seeing Double for the same matchups. So, yeah, Pitch Black is the only one that's absolutely useless. No, he's not. He's not much worse. But you think about it, right? If we'll just do Johnny. So Crazy, I'm going to come back in a few hours. I'm going to finish with Johnny, and I'm going to come back in a few hours and do the rest. If we just look at the characters we've done so far, right? If we were to look at my old tier list, bottom. These 3, bottom 4. These 4 characters at the start were bottom, right? Maybe not bottom 4, but these 3 were bottom 3. But now, look with the buffs they've got. What has Raiden got in relation to that, right? He just hasn't. He's just been left there in the dustbin. These characters, he hasn't changed at all. These characters have gotten better, and they've just left him behind. So that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying that he's. Well, I'll do Collector first when I come back in the afternoon. So if you come back in the afternoon, Crazy, I'll do Collector. But yeah, he by virtue of not having anything has stayed there. So he's not a terrible character. We even said he does a lot of damage. He's got a lot of good options with teleport and back 2, and you know. Well, if I finish at 1:30, we'll say 3 hours. I'll come back at 4:30. So from 3 hours from when I finish, I'll come back. Poor Minister Sheng, yeah. Yeah, just turn on notifications and you'll see. So if you click the little bell on stream, you'll know when I'm back. But yeah, my new stream times will be 10 a.m. to 1 or 1:30, and then 4:30 or 5 to 8. My man. So yeah, I'll do so because I want to make sure that you guys who come and see me in the morning still get the morning time stuff. But then I also want to do stuff for the afternoon people as well. So how you doing, JD? Anyway, you good? Poor Minister Sheng, Crazy. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, I'll do collect. I'll wait till you hit me up when you're in the stream later on, and I'll do Collector. Make sure you're here to see Collector. So just make sure you let me know. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I let everybody get involved, you know. But yeah, so next up is Johnny Kage. We said we'd do Johnny Kage, so he's next. Just gonna put him here to trigger everybody. Are you at home, JD? Yeah, I know. And NRS just wanting you to hate the law. So I don't think he's D, by the way. No, I'm not picking up Collector. I'm just saying about the tier list. I just want, because Crazy asked me for Collector, but I'm going in a minute, and I don't want him to miss me doing my Collector thing because he asked for it. But yeah, Johnny Kage. So Johnny Kage. He is okay. I will message you shortly. Johnny Kage was considered... So if we're taking this from when the game first came out, he only had one practical variation, right? Which was... Shock Jock. Was it called Shock Jock? Yeah, thank you, Classic. So when the game first came out, he only had one. Shock Jock. Showstopper was then buffed, so both were considered really good, obviously for different reasons. Shock Jock got access to the camera, made the camera more viable, and gave him a lot more crushing blows. Now Showstopper, with the camera you can get over 400 damage unbreakable. So I think we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh man, everyone with the hosts, just send about to go. And now, hey, Destiny, how's it going, my man? You good? And now, with the third variation, as we've all been saying in chat, outtake, which, funny enough, before, so when we were testing the third variations, the projectiles that he has now in outtake were completely unusable because they were so high. But the uppercut was 7 frames, right? 7 frame mid, which they've now made. That's all right. No, it wasn't. It's not usually the end. So it's only today is the first day. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's as well. He had a lot of whiffing issues as well, which he still sort of does. How you doing, Destiny? You good? He still has a lot. There are a lot of characters that whiff on him because of how low he crouches when he crouch blocks. But he was still considered a decent character, not top tier, but decent because of how plus he was on everything. So 1, 2, 4, he's plus. If he amplified the energy ball, he's plus. A lot of plus frames that made him a really difficult character to deal with pressure-wise. Forward 3 is a high, but he's got down 4, which jails into forward 3, and obviously 4-4, forward 4-4. So he's not got great mids, but now he has outtake. So outtake, he has a 9 frame mid reversal uppercut, which he can make safe, which doesn't have a gap that can be flawless blocked, much like Cassie's pre-patch shadow kick. And also he has the machine gun fireballs, which are extremely fast. I think are also 9 frame, correct me if I'm wrong, and can go full screen. And they combo into each other, not even as a combo. So if you hit with the high one and they're in the air, then they hit with the mid one, can hit you on the way down. So yeah, 9 frame fireballs. Yeah, really, really strong variation. But we'll get to that in a sec. So, 3 strong variations, as we've said. All of them have a different, depending on what you want, all of them do different things. Movement options, outside of Shadow Kick, not a lot. Shadow Kick is a very good reversal, but he doesn't have a teleport or anything like that changes the way that he moves compared to a different character. Forward 3 goes quite fast. Back 3 goes quite fast, but in the sense of the distance they cover. But none of them, he's not like Scorpion. He's not going to teleport or slide in on you like Sub-Zero. So yeah, movement options are quite linear. Damage. Now this is where he starts to excel. Oh yeah, yes, thank you, Fugue. Yeah, very good wave dash. That's a very good point, actually. Very good wave dash still. So yeah, he can do that to get in. The overall damage outside of the corner in these other variations is good. It's not anything to write home about, but the real Johnny damage comes from, as we've said, the unbreakable damage from Showstoppers. So if you were talking about definitely the most damaging unbreakable damage in the game, as far as I can tell, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he can get upwards of 40% from Showstopper, because he hits you with the camera, crushing blow, he hits you with the shades, crushing blow, and then he's got the fatal blow. I mean, in any variation, he's got the fatal blow cancel, which means that he's got unbreakable damage. So, yeah, really, really strong unbreakable damage character in every variation because of the fatal blow cancel, but especially in Showstopper. So yeah, decent damage. Crushing blow requirements, again, outside of Showstopper, not great, but Showstopper itself, with the glasses, with the camera, really, really effective now. They were buffed. Before, he was the worst crushing blow character in the game. Now, with the buffs to Showstopper, his crushing blow requirements are quite straightforward. Ease of use, I would say, outside of Fatal Blow cancels, fairly easy to use. Some of his more damaging combos require a bit more execution, but in terms of pressuring people, it doesn't require a lot of execution to amplify Energy Ball, you know? It doesn't require a lot of execution for to throw those outtake fireballs from full screen. I played a Johnny Cage the other day on stream where he didn't do a single combo. All he did was stay in full screen and throw fireballs, and it was still close. So, you know, I think especially outtake and the reversal as well. A lot of people doing down one uppercuts. So yeah, fairly easy to use. Mix-ups, not really. Outside of, again, Fatal Blow cancels, which can give him a little bit of a mix-up. He doesn't really have a lot of mix-ups. He you know, he's only going to go high or low. He doesn't have any overheads. Tournament results, well, we had combat winning with him at the start of the season, just by being a really good Johnny player. However, subsequent showings, we saw Irish Mantis get top 8 at UFA. Always a very competent Johnny player, very good Johnny player. Baylight did fairly well at UFA, but I mean, it has to be Sonic, right? Yamimi as well, yeah, Yamini as well. But Sonic, man, Sonic with that Johnny at ECT was looking very difficult to beat. I mean, he smoked Ninja Killer the first time they played. Second time they played, he did that big comeback. Oh yeah, true. The second hit of the uppercut is an overhead, yeah, but it's not. He doesn't have an overhead star or anything, or like any sort of overheads in his strings you have to worry about. But yeah, Sonic, man, if Sonic keeps playing Johnny, then I'm sure we're going to see, and he doesn't get nerfed, I'm sure we're going to see him a lot more in top 8s, because he's a very, very strong character now as a result of all the balance changes he's had. I say balance changes like the changes to Showstopper and stuff as well. So yeah, he essentially won ECT until Sonic switched to Jade. But I'm sure we're going to see a lot more than that. Normals are great. Forward 3, really long range. Back 3, really long range. All of his strings are safe for the most part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Irish Mantis is definitely happy with outtake. Really, really good strings. They are mostly safe. I don't think you can floor spot much off the top of my head. A lot of high starting stuff, so you can blow them up with low pokes and uppercuts if you're ready. But yeah, a lot of really good advancing strings that are good for whiff punishing. Yeah, especially the mid one. And if you can definitely, from up close, they're not really good, but from full screen, they're amazing. Wake up options, up 3 is a bit short range, but it serves a purpose. Up 2 is pretty decent. And Fatal Blow, whilst it's not one of the best Fatal Blows in the game in regards to its activation, like Jack's flying across the screen at you like Superman, it's the only Fatal Blow in the game that allows you to parry. So in terms of an actual Fatal Blow mechanic, it's amazing. Because the Fatal Blow not only works as a flash parry, which means that he can parry a move and hit you with it, and go into another combo, but a lot of his massive unbreakable damage comes from the ability to cancel the Fatal Blow mid-combo. So if you saw the comeback that Sonic made against Ninja Killer on the weekend, that massive combo he did was because he cancelled into the Showstopper, the glasses cancelling into the Fatal Blow cancelling into the glasses, and then massive damage. So again, in terms of activation and startup and stuff, it's not amazing, but having the ability to use it as a parry and to continue combos to make it do amazing damage is very practical. So yeah, I think he's S. Funnily enough, I think he loses to Garrus. I think even though a lot of people think that Johnny is one of Garrus's worst matchups, I think especially outtake loses to Garrus. Because you only need one teleport, you only need one to hit one sand trap and then you're in. But yeah, I think Johnny's S. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to put it, half African. It's like he's got 2 fatal blows, which is pretty mad. But yeah, outtake. He's got 3 good variations. He does a lot of damage, especially with the fatal blow cancel in all variations. Showstopper gives him the unbreakable. Outtake gives him the zoning. So yeah, really, really strong character. Again, by virtue of all the other characters getting nerfed, yeah, outtake Garrus does not beat. Sorry, outtake Johnny does not beat Garrus, but yeah.